It's the Sittin Sportside podcast.
Can't wait.
With Mike James.
Come on, man.
Matt Hogan.
It's going to be legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Legendary.
And Eric Hanman.
I have dedicated my life to this team, okay?
On 1045theteam.com.
And welcome into the podcast, guys. I'm Eric Hanman along with Matt Hogan and the ever so fruitful Mike James.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. And it's a special podcast today, and it's not necessarily old news, but it's special because we're going to go and dive into this Hall of Fame induction not ceremony, but the results.
There will be a ceremony.
There will be a ceremony in June. Usually, it's when it is July. There you go.
Cooperstown, New York.
Cooperstown, yeah, very beautiful up there.
You know what we should do?
Or out there.
We should host a podcast there somehow. A ceremony.
I interviewed a guy from there for my Tommy John documentary, vimeo.com/standing in the Hall of Fame, and it's pretty easy to get. It's just gonna take a while. If we contact someone, maybe they'll set us up.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think we should try that. Actually,
we can interview all three guys, all five guys. Heck, we'll even interview
that works. That's like
even better.
Up there.
We're teasing for all the way into the summer.
Yeah.
It's never too early to talk some baseball Hall of Fame.
No, not at all. Not at all. And do we have any initial reactions, I guess?
I think the most influential one, right?
You want to talk about who didn't get in first or who is in and react based on their personal numbers?
Let's start with who didn't, because I feel like Vlad Guerrero's like the huge topic centering around this year, not getting in this year.
Definitely.
I thought he should have got in. He's got the numbers, in my opinion. And then we talked about it last podcast a little bit, but with Curt Schilling, the writers aren't really voting for him as much now. They're actually taking like the opinions of Curt Schilling that he uses on his Twitter and stuff like that.
He said some stupid things.
He did, but that doesn't correlate to his baseball career.
He retweeted some stupid things as well.
And what I'm trying to bring into
it, anyway.
What I'm trying to bring into it is like, where does like an excitement factor come in? Like, right? Like, he's one of the most exciting players we've ever watched.
Oh, Vlad?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easily,
sure.
right? Fielding, hitting. Like, does that take...
The only guy I've ever seen literally hit a ball that bounced in the dirt out of the park.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame for that moment alone. But that's my point. Like, instead of, like, the person's opinion, shouldn't we start putting in stuff like factoring, he was, this exciting. He was electric to watch. You would tune in just to see Vlad Guerrero up to bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my opinion. I think he should have got in.
I guess you could use the same argument for those steroid users, right?
Oh, I love...
Because who got people in the seats more than the guys who are hitting?
Here's my thing.
60 bombs a year.
Pudge, who, actually technically never tested positive, but was said in Canseco's book that he did it. Okay. If Pudge finally makes it, Pudge definitely, in my opinion, is a Hall of Fame catcher. That if you put Pudge in, I think you got to start making that move towards everybody else now.
Right.
That's a good point.
Bagwell has some ties too, nothing proven. So yeah, this was the big conversation, right? The day after that. All right, so now you're putting these guys who clearly weren't the best. They were really good, but they weren't the best players from this time period, and you're keeping out the ones like Barry Bonds, who clearly was the best hitter, maybe of all time, probably of all time. If you take, just don't take steroids into the consideration. Best player of all time.
Here's my question too. You look at Jeff Bagwell; he's arguably the Astros' best hitter, one of their best hitters of all time, along with Biggio.
Biggio beat him out.
Well, yeah,
technically, if you look at it, that way.
Larry Walker was one of Colorado's best hitters, and
See,
how does he not get more love?
Don't get me started on Larry Walker. You want to get me started on Larry Walker?
Well, you hate Larry Walker?
I love Larry Walker. I love his. I'm right there with you now. There is this characterness to Larry Walker. You're talking about Vlad and getting his seats in the game. There is a sense of Larry Walker would, late in the season, if he had leads in the batting title or whatnot, he would sit himself out of the games to make sure that he won the batting title. And we saw that a little bit this year, not with the player himself, but DJ LeMahieu was kept out of the lineup by Walt Weiss, his manager, to beat out Daniel Murphy on the last day. But there's this sense of character that Larry Walker was more of a selfish guy. He didn't care about winning; he just cared about his own personal statistics. But here's where I just get interested in, and this goes into even MVP voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at Larry Walker's career and and he not only was a great hitter, and obviously he probably gets held back because he played a lot of his career in Colorado. He also
Definitely
played with St. Louis, and he also played with Montreal. But just being in Colorado hurts for some writers, right? But there's the plus of his glove, right? I mean, Gold Glover, seven-time Gold Glover, and you can argue, I guess, right, that Pudge was a first ballot Hall of Famer because of his glove. So where do the writers get you know what I'm saying? Where do the defense come into it as like, in addition to it? One of my biggest pets, stay in the Rockies, Nolan Arenado. This guy puts up numbers after numbers after numbers, and I know he's not on winning teams, and I know the writers will, for MVPs, they picked a lot of times the teams that are winning their division or in the playoffs and the better teams, but Nolan Arenado goes on wins after RBIs, on home runs. He leads the league in all these categories, and he's the best third baseman in the National League defensively, and I could argue he's the best third baseman in the entire Major League Baseball defensively.
Definitely.
So where does that all factor in? Where does the fielding factor in on top of his offensive numbers? But this guy should be winning MVP every year. So back to the Larry Walker, I'm saying that his numbers are there for hitting, and then you factor in 7 Gold Gloves.
I agree Arenado's good, but to me, I think I would take Manny Machado over anybody at third base in the majors.
Even with those injury concerns? He's out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think he's played a full season now. I think about it. Last year might have been his most.
I think it was his closest to a full season.
Yeah.
Except for his first year, I think he was pretty solid.
Yeah. I think I'd take Nolan still at third.
You know,
he's going to play shortstop more times than not, I feel like.
Oh, Manny. Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, I think he's a shortstop. He's not really a third baseman.
Right, and J.J. Hardy was blocking him for a little bit, but I think that's going to, I don't think J.J. Hardy's going to continue.
I think J.J. Hardy's medium. He's okay. I mean, I personally,
right.
I wouldn't. If I was going to pick a shortstop to build, I would not pick J.J. Hardy. He's not. I'm not saying he's terrible.
Of course not.
He's good, but.
And he's definitely not a Hall of Famer. Let's get back to the Hall of Fame here. But yeah, how about that? Pudge Rodriguez, you can argue, is a defense. Got him because of his Gold Glove. So where does fielding come into play?
You can also make that argument with Clemens. Clemens won how many Gold Gloves as a pitcher?
No.
How many Cy Youngs did Clemens win? I believe he's got the most in history, doesn't he? Or close to it.
I think so.
Well, going back to Gold Gloves, though, I think Gold Gloves takes an effect more towards a catcher than a pitcher because you're on the field every single play.
Right.
You're controlling the game. There's so much you're doing behind the plate. You know what I mean? Compared to any other position, that's got to play some kind of factor. Speaking of that,
but you can't talk up one and not talk up the other. Like you're gonna talk up Ken Griffey Jr. because he won all his Gold Gloves and he was obviously the numbers were there as well for offense.
Yeah.
But the same people that are going to say, "Oh, he's a first ballot," unanimous. Obviously, first ballot, unanimous. And people went lost their minds, as we mentioned previously on this podcast, when 3 people didn't vote for him because great offensive numbers and he great defensively in center. But where does Larry Walker come into play? I mean, he won Gold Gloves as well, and his numbers, and he doesn't even get past 20%.
Yeah, it's a shame, but his numbers were good, but I don't think they were. If I had to put him in, I know what you're saying though with fielding because of all the Gold Gloves.
You can't have it for Ken Griffey should have been unanimous because on top of the great offensive numbers, he's an amazing fielder as well. And then Larry Walker, his defense, was there as well.
I think the disparity though between those two when it comes to hitting and fielding, like I'd take Griffey in both and I wouldn't think about it. You know what I mean? Like I'd want Griffey out there in the field more than Larry Walker, even though Larry Walker was great.
But I'm down.
I know what you're saying though, because
you're arguing 3 more votes. The guy who got 90 whatever % of the vote to a guy who got 15.
So let's say they were going up right now, Griffey and Larry Walker for next year, and you knew Griffey was going to get in, but Larry Walker, is going to be on the shallow end. Would you cast that vote to Larry Walker instead?
I'm like in the extreme minority where I wouldn't even halt. I would be like, you know what, Ken Griffey's definitely getting in. I would lose my vote on him.
I think so because it's like I get your point, but it's also
if you're gonna argue that, I think Randy Johnson should have been unanimous. I think Randy Johnson.
Oh, so do I.
So you can argue it about so many other players.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying from the standpoint of
now we have to make everybody unanimous to get another level, Super Hall of Famer.
This goes. I feel like this is the point of
I get it.
A kid comes in like they lose in their soccer league and they come in last place and don't win a game, but they still get a trophy.
Hey, I was that kid.
You know what I mean? I don't think, and like the parents are like, well, since they're gonna get the trophy too, they're gonna first place is gonna get one, they should get one too. No, if Ken Griffey was the best player in that class and you think he's a Hall of Famer, cast your vote. Even if you know he's gonna get in,
he should have been unanimous.
Well,
should have even been close.
But Eric's saying that since you know he's gonna get in. Whereas a guy like Larry Walker, who's had a great career, who probably won't get the votes because of the class he's going against, where does it stack up? I get your point, but in my opinion, I just think.
Well, you think Ken Griffey isn't a very good example because he, obviously he's elite, super elite. Like using it more against a guy like I'll go in and use 2016's Mike Piazza. I mean. Fine, the numbers are probably relatively. Piazza probably has them in maybe a couple categories, offensively, but other than that, just because he's the best hitting catcher, so because he played catcher, maybe not. I mean, nothing drives me more crazy to when and I'm not saying I'm not taking anything away from Mike Piazza did, and you guys can put me in my place if I'm going out here, but. Nothing drives me more crazy when the guy gets in because he's a catcher, and then all of a sudden everyone's saying, "Oh, he was the best at calling games." When clearly Mike Piazza wasn't the best at calling games.
Yeah, the best at calling games might have been in this Hall of Fame class,
right?
Who got 0% of the vote?
Right,
Jason Varitek, the most no hitters.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not just saying as a Red Sox fan, but he actually had
four,
4, and Yogi Berra had 3. It's a pretty good class. I'm not saying Varitek should be a Hall of Famer. But I know your point is.
Pick a year for me when Piazza played, and the other 14 catchers. Where does he rank out of those? And I know he probably defensively. I'm talking about like calling actual games. Is it because Piazza definitely got in because of his offensive numbers, right?
Oh yeah, I think that was
100%
big.
I don't think he was that good. I mean, he was good, but
but he's all the Mets have.
I mean, he carried the Mets teams back then.
Right.
Arguably, who was on their pitching staff?
But back to what I was like about Larry Walker, that's who I'm putting him up against. I'm not putting him up all with the other guy that Piazza got in with, Griffey. I'm putting him more against. He's down a little bit.
The question is, and maybe I'm getting wrong, but going wrong. Jeez, I don't know. But position, should that matter? Is that kind of where we're going towards? Where it compares to hitting? Because obviously pitchers and infielders and outfielders are all different, obviously.
Yeah.
But is there a difference? Should we hold a catcher different to an outfielder, which is clearly is happening, obviously,
right?
And it's happened throughout baseball, for the Hall of Fame voting. But that's the question, I guess. And I guess my guess is that you're against. It doesn't matter what position you are.
What I'm hearing from you is that, and I don't disagree with the fact that catcher's most important position on the field, hands down in terms of defense.
It's like goalie in hockey, though. Goalies. If you ask me, catchers don't get enough credit for what they do in baseball, and goalies don't get enough credit for what they do in hockey. You know what I'm saying, though? Does that make sense?
I would argue that goalies get a lot of credit when they're doing good and a lot of blame when they do it bad. So, you
can say that with catchers, too, though.
Right. No, I agree. 100%. So I would say that the good ones get more than enough credit, and then the ones that, are average probably don't get enough.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's where I stand with what you're coming at.
Maybe they should have. What if they did a Hall of Fame ballot each year and it was by positions, right? And not one general class. So they got still a certain amount of votes, but maybe instead of, I don't know how many total, but say they got 3 votes per position.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What if they did that? Would that work?
Well, let me ask you this: Mike Trout's numbers. Catcher, the best defensive catcher has, I guess, 30% less. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who's the better player?
Trout.
Right.
But I get what you're saying. Who should? Yeah.
30 because, and then that has nothing to do with my argument with Larry Walker and Mike Piazza because the offensive numbers are very the same.
Yeah.
But to further the other argument about the position and whatnot.
Yeah, position versus actual stats.
So center other pitchers do matter and whatnot.
I wouldn't compare a closer to a starter.
You can't.
That's what I mean, though. But maybe that's why they should do it by positions, and you get a certain amount of votes.
If you look, Trevor Hoffman.
Well, I don't think we have a closer in the Hall of Fame.
Not this year.
No.
Eckersley's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, Eckersley.
But I think you mean more towards
like the saves being
the determinant factor.
Yeah.
But Mariano will be the one.
Right.
He'll be unanimous, I'll bet you.
But Lee Smith had the record beforehand. He didn't get in.
He only got 151 votes.
But you're right, Eckersley, Raleigh Fingers,
You put in all the from Rivera though. I think he will be unanimous because people are gonna factor in the World Series, how dominant he was each year,
postseason as well.
Yeah, and it's coming from a Red Sox fan.
I think he
was the greatest closer
right
of
now.
all
The
time.
two closers that are gonna be in the Hall of Fame are Hoffman and Rivera, the two best in this era.
They have their own awards named after them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As they rightfully should.
So now that we got that, is there anyone else that you guys got?
I don't know.
Did we really even touch that much on Vlad? I feel like we just went into him for like a couple seconds and then we were like got right into Pudge.
Well, yeah, I feel
like the analysis just took out Vlad.
Vlad, bye Vlad. Nice to meet you, Vlad.
See you, Vlad.
You're still not in the Hall of Fame.
He'll get in next year, obviously, because he was at I think 71%. He got
71.7.
Yeah, so he'll get up because usually there's like an increase of 3 to 5%.
Chipper and Tomei are like the two ones that I looked at that, and I've heard people not even say that they want to put Tomei in there. So
I feel like those are players that like grow on you. You know what I mean? Like the voters.
To me,
like, you know how that
Chipper's a Hall
happens.
of Famer, hands down. To me,
let's not. We'll get there in a little bit.
Yeah,
that's my fault. But we'll get
but
there.
I'm just saying, personally.
But back because we want to get off Vlad again.
Yeah, let's get back to Vlad. I want to talk Vlad.
Vladdy.
That magical swing and glove.
Eerily similar to me to the numbers of Jeff Bagwell. So I guess because Bagwell's on for the 7th time, he got you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're thinking that's where he should be compared to.
Right. I mean, they're very similar.
But if you put in the excitement factor, if there is one, like I think there should be.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was going to go to the Hall of Fame, say I was bringing my kid, which I don't have. But say I'm bringing my kid there, I'm way more excited to show off
they have the
like
same amount
Vlad
of home
Guerrero than
runs.
Jeff Bagwell.
Same amount of home runs.
Yeah, it's amazing. They both are good players. I just think Vlad should have been up there. And that's
they're
the
very
bias.
similar numbers, but Bagwell has better OBP.
I'm going to guess Vlad has a better average, though, right?
Yeah,
better average.
So.
Yeah,
probably. 100%. Yeah, because Bagwell was under 300.
Yeah, and I think Vlad was a 313,
318,
318 for your career, and he played like
16 years. They both played 16.
I mean,
Bagwell hit 297.
So, right, and the OBP though, it's crazy, right? How the OBP can like fluctuate to like you hit that much lower.
Yeah,
and then Bagwell's OBP is 400. Vlad's only 379.
Well, we know why Vlad's was.
Yeah, I mean,
because instead of taking walks, he swings at like a pitch that's 10 feet outside the strike zone.
Do I need to sit back and just let you explain why he's there?
I'm just saying that's that's absolutely
Let's hear
why.
Hogan. I'll even sit back on this one.
We'll sit back. Listen, just put Vlad in.
No, yeah, he'll definitely be a Hall of Famer. And let's just also shout out to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Are you guys excited for him?
God. I was watching him taking batting practice
man.
on some YouTube video.
Yeah.
It was like watching Vlad all over again. It was so awesome. You guys remember that commercial? Speaking of Hall of Famers, because A-Rod will eventually be up for it.
He'll be up.
But him
He'll
and
be up
A-Rod
for
are
it.
hitting like home runs. They're like having batting practice at night, and they're like seeing who can hit it farther. And then like Vlad Guerrero hits one to the moon.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Like when I was a kid, I thought that was real because it's Vlad Guerrero.
Right. I mean, anything's possible with Vlad.
I never liked any of the teams that Vlad played for, but he was just fun to watch.
It was a fun team when he was on the Angels.
You don't remember it? Is that what you said?
No,
No,
I
he
said
said
I
he didn't
wasn't
like
a
it.
fan of
Like
it,
those
but
teams.
I love to watch Vlad because he's Vlad.
On the
Yeah,
Vlad
yeah.
topic,
Gotcha.
Vlad could have been a Yankee. When they got
Could've, yeah.
Gary Sheffield, it went the other way. How much better of his numbers? Like, do you think Vlad would have been a Hall of Famer if he was on the Yankees and won a World Series?
Hands down.
Like, would that World Series put him
would've
over the
been
top
in.
into the
Yeah,
Hall of Fame?
he's in.
See, I think that's crappy. That sucks.
Way to bring up 04, man. Any chance he gets, right?
Any
Red Sox,
chance I
man.
get. No, but I'm just saying, like, if Vlad's there, they win a World Series with Vlad. Does Vlad now get it? Say his numbers are identical.
It's
he wins
it's
that
an
World
interesting
Series.
question.
Yeah, he wins
It is
that
an
World
interesting
Series.
question.
Does that get him the extra couple votes to get in?
Stop taking cheap shots, by the way, Hogan.
I'm not taking. Listen, 2003, you guys nailed the Sox pretty hard. Those were
Did
some
that
magic
get
years.
pudged in?
Yeah, that's like it's. You can ask
Just
that
remember,
for anything. It's weird.
He
you
called
know?
the Yankees his daddy. That's all you need to know.
He did. He was also the greatest pitcher of that era.
Oh, fun fact on Pudge. And by the way, Pudge and Reigns, both Yankees. They are both Yankees. at one
Pudge
point.
was only there, what, a year?
Pudge?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like half a year. 08. And I was there for his only home run in pinstripes.
He had a really bad year that year, didn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But it was against the Angels, ironically, and Vlad Guerrero.
Vlad Guerrero. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Cool. Fun fact.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah. Mark Teixeira hit a grand slam in that game. For the Angels. Whoa, blow the mind.
Blowing minds on this podcast. Wow.
The Blowing Minds podcast.
Here's my okay. We touched on this earlier. Did Mike Mussina in 1 year become a better pitcher than Kurt Schilling?
No, it's so stupid that he.
Here's the thing.
I think Mike
they're
Mussina
very
should
similar
be,
though.
Yeah,
They
I think
are very
Mussina should be
similar.
in the Hall of Fame too. I think him and Schilling, but I don't think he's better than Schilling.
Right, exactly.
But I do think Mussina should get there.
Schilling's burying himself. He just needs to
That's so
stop.
stupid though. That shouldn't. There's no correlation. There's no correlation between baseball and then your opinion. It's the Hall of Fame, like on the plaque, is it going to say, also, by the way, Kurt Schilling believed in this? You know what I mean? So no. So put him in the freaking Hall of Fame. Mike Mussina should be there too.
Well,
Trevor Hoffman didn't believe in climate change.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's true,
All right.
But look at Carl Everett didn't believe in dinosaurs. If he had
There you
good
go.
enough numbers, are we not going to put him in?
Can we make an argument too that Andy Pettitte on his postseason numbers alone should be in the Hall of Fame?
I think he should be too, but then you had the question, even though with that era.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
He admitted to doing it for his injuries.
Pettitte came out and admitted it. If you come out and admit it, okay, I don't hold it against you. Here's my problem with A-Rod. He took so long to come out and admit it.
That's like cheating on a test and then saying, you know what, teacher? I cheated.
Listen, you can't use that analogy.
The teacher's not gonna be like, well, you know what? Keep that 95. I'm glad you did it.
Eric, I think we need to tell all of his students now to call him Hoagie.
Hoagie?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Hogan. Mr. Hoagie.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I've been called many nicknames. I mean, I go by Batman at the middle school.
I see that.
Yeah,
I can
it's
see
pretty
that.
awesome. So, because I am Batman, but we're getting way off topic. But no, I don't think. I think Andy Pettitte should be in. You guys know my belief. I think
All right,
steroid
well,
players.
Here's the thing
should
about postseason
find their
success,
spot
though.
in too.
Like, no, I mean, he's a fan favorite of the Yankees, and so I feel weird saying that you can't find a bigger fan than Bernie Williams and me, which I doubt that's true because he's such a fan favorite. But postseason success, that guy, postseason success right there. But you're saying overall numbers,
his
Pettitte's
numbers,
going to be better.
I don't think Bernie's a Hall of Famer. I love
What about
Bernie.
Manny?
Manny was an
postseason
amazing
numbers.
postseason hitter.
Yeah.
He got caught twice though,
Yeah, right.
so I don't think he should get in yet.
My favorite Manny moment of all time, me and you have had this conversation when he cut that throw off from David.
It's the greatest. The excitement factor alone should put him in the Hall of Fame. No, but
He should be in the Hall of Fame for that play.
High-fiving a guy in the stands. and
after
then
getting that home
doubling
run,
off.
throwing him out at first.
Yeah.
walking off the field and going into the monster to take a pee.
He was amazing.
Hola.
He was amazing. Oh, yep, the ESPN commercial, Manny being Manny. Love
What's
that
even
guy.
mean?
No, yeah, he's the greatest. But
Yeah.
we get a little off topic again.
Well, we're really not though, because we're talking about the Hall of Fame, and
Yeah.
Touche.
Well,
you know,
For who else? I mean, we talked about Pudge with steroids in the steroid era. I guess I kind of want to bring this up. If a guy like Pudge gets in, there was no actual proof that he did it, other than Canseco's words.
Mhm.
We shouldn't just take Canseco. Are you guys in agreement with some writers who just take his words by?
first of all, I wouldn't listen to Canseco if he told me what time of day it was.
Well, he's been pretty accurate with who's
yeah.
done it, the steroids.
Yeah.
But like, are we going to take everything like he says to heart? Which I think some writers do.
I think the problem with Canseco is he's laying the blame game on everybody.
But he's kind of doing what you said, though.
But
Remember how like Andy Pettitte came out and said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I did it. I admitted it." Like
Here's
Jose
my-
Canseco literally wrote a book and said,
Here's
"Oh,
my
I did it. Hey, how
Here's my
are
thing
you?"
with Canseco. I think Canseco's the reason why the steroids boomed so bad. I think he's the one that started that initial thing of, oh, let me take it. Oh, here.
Well, I don't think he was a supplier.
I do.
I feel like you're implementing him at like you're indicted. You're blaming Jose Canseco. Like now, all I have is a picture of Jose Canseco walking around like in a tank top, and
Yeah.
in the athletics
like 20
facility with just
It's like
a box of
it's
steroids.
The 21 Jump Street movie where they dress up as baseball players and they find out it's Jose Canseco who's selling the
But,
steroids.
He was just a steroid user, and he was just the first one to come out about it. That's all. That's all that was.
See, I think,
He was
truthfully, Like everybody said, I think it's time you make a whole new wing of the Hall of Fame and name it whatever you want to name it.
Steroid era?
Because you got the dead ball era.
What if they did from 2000? So 2005 was when steroids, right? It was in
No, it was more. Oh
no. But that's when it came out. 2005, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's when they started doing the testing, like the random tests and everything again.
Yep.
Right? I think it's 2005. What if they had a rule and they said 2005 on, you get caught with steroids, you can't be in the Hall of Fame. Because before that, you don't know who was really doing them. You have an idea of some of the players, but you really have no idea what majority of the players are doing.
But to me, as a hitter, you still need the hand-eye coordination to hit the ball.
Right. Well, no, yeah. What I'm saying, though, is like, would you guys be okay with a rule that said after 2005, if you got caught with steroids, you can't get in the Hall of Fame?
I'd be okay with that.
But anything before that, if you weren't proven guilty, you could still get in the Hall of Fame.
I'd be okay with that.
You said after 2005?
After 2005.
100% you can't get
You
in?
can't
Like, if you got caught, like literally caught, like it's not like speculation.
Right,
it's like Manny Ramirez getting suspended for PEDs.
You can't get in the Hall of
Can't
Fame.
get in the Hall of Fame, no matter what.
I agree.
I don't know.
I think there should be a special spot for people that were in the steroid era, and if you want to say like Barry Bonds, I think he should have a spot.
You
But
still have to have the hand-eye coordination as a hitter to hit the ball. Said this before. There is no way in the world that if I took steroids, I could get up there and hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball out of the park.
no, but what steroids do is, I brought it up on the one podcast, is that it doesn't improve your skills. What it does is it helps your body repair faster.
But still,
Andy Pettit. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like when a lifter goes into the gym, a big, bodybuilder, and they're taking steroids, the steroids aren't, necessarily making their muscles bigger just from the steroids. It's recovering faster. Mm-hmm. So you could go in, you could work harder the next day, harder the next workout.
I was thinking
and
that
your muscles
today,
recover faster.
Actually, at the gym, I was like, how much easier would this be if I was just, taking steroids?
Yeah, absolutely. It would.
call A-Rod. I have his direct number. He'll hook you up.
Brian McNamee or, gonna inject me in the locker room. That was Clemens.
It's a long season. It definitely helped with their longevity.
Right. Yeah, longest season of them all.
That's why most players take steroids.
Yeah.
I would guess.
I agree with Mike's point, though, too. That, put Mike... No, I'll use me as an example. As many steroids.
I mean, I've stood in there against the 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Okay.
And I just looked at it. I was like, yeah, not that.
Put me on steroids, and, I'm not...
No, I know that.
Fastball.
All right, but let's put two same talented guys.
What about D. Gordon?
Yeah.
He didn't, all of a sudden,
But again, it helps with recovery.
Right.
So, like, D. Gordon's more ready to play the next day than, say, give me a leadoff hitter that,
Gotcha.
Didn't take steroids that we don't know of. Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve.
Steroids. That's a joke. Calm down. Don't get your panties in a bunch, Hogan. It was a joke.
I don't want to start assuming things on this podcast, Mike, all right? Jose Altuve is a great player.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's
Brett Gardner, steroids.
He could use some.
What?
Right now. I like Brett Gardner.
I hate Brett
Finding
Gardner.
himself in a slump.
I wish that guy would get busted for PEDs.
Jeez, there's so much hate from Mike on this show.
What good would that do?
All right, I'm not going into a rant. Let's move on.
What good would that do, though?
Anyways,
all right,
next.
who else do you guys think that... Let's ask this question. Who do we think that didn't get in this year will get in next year other than Vlad Guerrero? Do you guys think Edgar Martinez will get in?
At some point, he should.
His last year will be. I think he'll come down to his last chance.
Yo, I mean, he was a great player too. I just don't know.
Is next year his last chance?
No, the year after that will be his last.
Okay.
I think
he's at 54%.
I don't think he'll
right
get
now.
in next year. I think we'll get. If he gets in, it'll have to be in his 10th opportunity. I don't know.
Who's up next year? That.
Like I said, Jim Thome and Chipper Jones were the highlight too that I looked at, and I found when I looked up the next year's ballot. First
to me,
come, first
it's
serve.
definitely Hoffman, Vlad. If it was up to me, if I had the vote, I would vote Hoffman, Vlad, Chipper, and Edgar. Personally, that's
In that order?
not necessarily, but that's the four that I would put on top of my list.
Okay.
Clemens and Bonds would get a vote. Messina would get a vote, and that's about it
I'm gonna list off a few more
for me.
real quick. Scott Rowland,
No.
Andrew Jones,
No.
Johan, Damon, and then you're going to get into the ones. Chris Carpenter?
Damon, absolutely not.
What about Chris Carpenter?
Yeah.
Kerry Wood? Anything there? How about
Kerry Wood just was hurt too
how about
much.
Hideki?
Vasily son.
Yeah, there's really no one else. I mean, Levon Hernandez,
Oh God, if that guy
probably
was
not. Omar Vizquel, fringe.
Hall of Famer.
So yeah, that does
Vizquel is up already. I thought he just retired a couple of years ago.
No, man.
No, he's in there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, I'm looking at other ones like, Brad Lidge, probably not.
Oh God.
So nothing else really standing out to me for next year. The only first ballots one I would even, consider maybe is Chipper and Jim.
I think if Johnny
You
Damon,
say no for sure for Scott Rowland?
I would not first ballot. I mean, you could make the argument down the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I don't think he'll get in
But
first
if
ballot, obviously.
for somehow Johnny Damon ever made it, God,
Some bitter.
Lord help us.
What's wrong with Johnny Damon?
What's wrong with Johnny Damon? I never wanted him to be a Yankee
Okay.
ever.
That's just being biased though. Now.
Yeah. I didn't want Jacoby Ellsbury to be Yankee, but I'm still, pulling for him to have a heck of a 2017 this year.
I've never.
And if he's in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done, I'm really hoping that those are all in pinstripes. But
Just
he didn't do good
Johnny
enough. He
Damon's
didn't do good enough for
not-
you. Like big
not
part
a-
of stealing second and then popping up at second and third base wide open in World Series. That didn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think about like other attributes that should be, considered into the Hall of Fame voting. Would you guys consider like a home run derby champion? Like, would that like influence you at all?
So like Cespedes?
Yeah, say Cespedes, whatever, down the road he's on the ballot. Would you look at like
Or
would
like
that even
Josh
phase?
Hamilton?
I don't
Bobby
think he'll
Abreu?
make it, but would that factor into you at all? Like if they're like on the fringe and you're like, that home run derby, the home run derby champ. I'm just thinking
We're
like
talking
thinking of
Josh
things.
Hamilton just for his monumental 2008 at Yankee
Well, think
Stadium.
about that. Yeah, well, that's the point. That's the point I want to hear right there. Yankee Stadium. Not taking anything away from what Josh Hamilton did. It's pretty, obviously amazing to have gone that long. Although he did lose, Justin Morneau. But Yankee Stadium. What better place to be a left-handed hitter than Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
So then, is that more impressive than, what Stanton did this past year? Where was it? San Diego?
Yeah,
That's friendly to right-handers, I guess, as well. But
Oh my God. It's not even fair.
But no, I don't think that wouldn't be anything I would be like, you know what? Let me throw him
I'm
in
just
there.
like kind of wondering like things like that, like All-Star Game MVPs and stuff like that. Like would that factor in? Because that's kind of like turned into a joke now, to be honest. Especially now, in my opinion, since they took away.
That's an
the
interesting
home
thing. We want to
field.
talk about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Because everyone I talked to is, once again, like the whole Griffey thing, I'm in the minority except for, Roger Wild. Big Board Sports, I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all either. I think it's stupid. It has no meaning to it.
Are we all in agreement?
Who? I mean, what's the point?
Everybody else.
No
I feel
reason to
like
watch the All-Star game. Then.
This isn't. I think it's a lot of people that are like fringe baseball fans who are like so into football and so into basketball that like if you have the best record, you have to get home field advantage in the World Series. Period. The end. Those are the people that are like, it just makes sense. That's how it should be.
The All-Star game is
Guess who won more games in Chicago in this past World Series?
Oh, yeah.
And guess who won more games in Cleveland? So I mean,
I don't think it matters. It just matters how good your
I know,
team
but you
is.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everyone's arguing about that, but then look at this past World Series.
Yeah.
Game 7 was in Kansas City back in 2014.
Yep.
Who won? It was the San Francisco Giants. I think the best team's still gonna come out on top.
Baseball is one of those sports I feel like the best team does come out.
Right.
More than likely. I mean, home field advantage is still, there's still an advantage there, but not as much as, say, there is, especially in the NFL.
Yeah, and then there is this. I know people have the problem with every team has to have an all-star, even if Jason Castro was an all-star. With the Astros a couple years back, he was having an all right year. Like that was probably his best year in his career. But that argument of they have to have an all-star even if they don't have an all-star caliber player.
Now
Against that, they are against because that into consideration. That's why they were against it as well. And I kind of agree with they don't even sometimes they don't manage it.
Yeah.
As like. But they do. When Trout stays in there, I mean, Trout probably should stay in there all 9 innings if they're 100% going for it. But
Yeah.
he stays in there. He gets at least 3 at bats. Now,
Yeah, now it's only
Trout
one.
probably only get one.
Yeah, if that,
Because
maybe.
Socha's going to be like, get my guy out of the game. What are we playing for?
Yeah, because that'll be the big thing. If someone gets hurt,
Right. Now it doesn't even matter. I mean,
Yeah, it's just stupid.
it'd be an issue regardless. Like if someone
Yeah.
got hurt, it'd be the other side would be like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
this
if
is
they
why you
played,
don't make
like-
them go 100%.
but if they played like 4 innings,
But Jose Fernandez,
yeah,
rest in peace. But
Giordano, rest in peace.
yeah,
Both of them.
moment of silence.
yep. I mean,
But
24
yeah.
and 25, right?
He grooved a fastball. He admitted to trying to groove a fastball with David Ortiz,
Yep.
and that's when it mattered. And then you want to go back to Wainwright with Jeter. He was accused by Aaron Andrews, right?
Yeah,
Like right after it happened, and he was like,
I mean,
didn't
it did
do
look
that.
kind of.
See, I miss like the
bland,
days where it
but
was like 99 when they had it at Fenway. I'm just thinking of that because it's the most recent in my head.
when
where,
Pedro struck out, what?
But that was
7.
so exciting, right?
Right.
You were like, oh my God, you got Mark McGwire up, you got Sammy Sosa, Larry Walker, and then Barry Bonds, and then going against the best pitcher in the AL. Now it's
they couldn't
like,
touch him.
and now though, when it comes to the All-Star break, are you like thinking, oh, it's Clayton Kershaw,
Here's
facing
the
off
thing.
Carlos
Here's the
Carrera.
thing.
I
Because-
wouldn't go now. I'd say I'm skipping it.
I'd rather go to the Home Run Derby, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. 'Cause
Right?
It's both are exhibitions at this point now.
Yeah.
But because of the time, like where it lies, there's nothing going on. I mean, baseball has it regardless.
Yeah.
So they were probably like, you know what? Let's make the majority probably, I guess, happy.
You should make a skills challenge, just like the NFL is now.
Well, like ground balls.
I don't know how they would do it, but like throws from the outfield, like you had to hit it like in a target. How awesome would that be to watch back in the day, like Vlad Guerrero
Yeah.
chucking it from right field to like
Right.
third base or
Cespedes
something
would
like
be
that?
interesting to watch now.
Cespedes, yep.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, actually. I think we just came up with a great idea.
Hope you're listening,
Or
Rod
play-
Manfred or
Or
whatever
play
your name is.
dodgeball. I mean, that should be fun.
Pitchers play dodgeball.
Oh my God! I need Tommy John surgery.
that would be the-
He's out with tennis elbow and everything. You know?
it's a bold move, Cotton. See if it pays off.
Oh Lord, have mercy on our souls.
Yeah. Line drive contest.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be fun.
There you go. That'd be fun
Let's
to
see
watch,
who can
right?
throw the hardest. Roll this.
That would actually be awesome to watch.
That'd be interesting.
Like give them a crow hop
See
too.
Kopech.
I
don't know how
literally-
far. I don't know how far he was away, but he reached 110.
I think he did. It wasn't like from the mound though.
It wasn't.
It was a crow.
was
I think it was
flat
like a
ground.
crow
Crow hop.
too.
I would like
but
to
still,
see
that's impressive. Oh my
Chapman-
From
god.
60 though?
Huh?
Was it from 60?
I don't know. I don't know the distance.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Chapman with a crow hop. Just absolutely. I think he could go.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
I
we'll
wanna see
exceed
it.
what we saw from Kopech in that video,
You know,
which
speak-
was 110.
I'd feel bad for anybody in the way of that ball.
Oh,
He might burn a hole through like the fence. He threw it.
just
like
throw
an
it right
NBA.
through.
well, no, I think they
Like
even had it.
NBA
Did you ever play Slugfest?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know how yeah. It's just
It was a
like,
great game. Then parents got angry at it. So I guess like
Yeah,
did you guys
just
hear the
go around
story about the
punching
kid?
People. No.
So I guess there was like a kid. I can't remember from where. It was like during the Slugfest era.
Yeah.
And like he got to like third base or something like that. He punched the kid. Because you could do that in Slugfest. You could like start like wailing on him and it'll drop the ball.
Yeah, you
I
kick
guess
him.
that was like a big story.
That was like the greatest.
That was a
game
big
ever.
reason for the demise of Slugfest.
Yeah. Yeah. doesn't it?
Unfortunately,
Well, they had blitz as well. They
Yeah.
had hits in NHL.
that last blitz. I don't want to get too far off, but they were like you could like take steroids. Like we give
Yes,
you
I
the option.
remember that.
You break your like fibula, but
Oh, you
he
want
could be out like
steroids?
6 months, or he could be out for 2 quarters. If you give, and they would show it.
Yeah.
They would show him like injecting steroids. You're just like, wait, what?
They gotta start rating those T for T. And
Yeah, well, that's why those games aren't there anymore.
Actually, well, those are the last NFL blitz like 3
they
years
might
ago.
have actually been rated T for T. I'm not even sure.
They were.
They were?
I was definitely playing them at like 10.
Yeah. I mean, there's worse games out there, but
Are we done with baseball? Are we gonna
Actually, I
keep
kind of
going?
want to talk about Bud Selig real quick. Do you guys think he
Yeah,
should
we
be
can
in?
go,
we should keep going.
Do you think he
Yeah.
should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, why not?
Because he was during the steroid era too. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he
I know.
shouldn't, but
Well, he was the
touched on
commissioner.
this a
How
little.
you can't hold him
we did
against?
touch a little bit on the steroid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about how much we love the All-Star game. That guy, graded that.
Yeah.
But now they're taking it.
Does anybody else?
That
already-
Manfred.
I already hate Rob Manfred. I heard like
Another fun fact. I'm just full of fun facts today. He grew up across the street in Rome, New York. with my mother.
oh
Really?
Yeah.
Get him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
yeah. How did your mom get a hold of him? Hey
don't-
Rob. Hey Robbie.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
That's funny though. That's
Hey
cool.
Manfred. Yeah. Will you let Pete Rose back in, please?
Yeah,
now.
but Selig didn't either.
Yeah, well, Pete Rose should be in. He should be allowed back in baseball, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. End of story. Am I wrong?
I think he's a Hall of Famer, but once again, this does go back to this though, Hogan. What you were saying before, and I can see you're holding something back. I'll finish my point real quick. You don't know, so like for we were talking about the whole 05 thing, like people who did it after for steroids. You don't know the ones who actually did it, right? So for Pete Rose, we don't know if he betted when he played, or just when he managed. Now, for me, managing is still a big deal, but not as big a deal than if he did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's worse
because you could put him in as a player, because he didn't bet when he played. That's what he was as a player, and then the bad stuff happened when he was managing. But we don't know that for a fact, right?
Maybe so. I like that. I guess I wouldn't allow him to be back in baseball in the sense of like being able to work with a team again.
No, but you got to put him back in baseball so he can rightfully go to the Hall of Fame.
I think as a player, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But like to your point, though, as a manager, I don't know if he should be allowed back in baseball other than maybe getting into the Hall of Fame. I know that's like, I don't know if you could somehow do that, but I don't think
I have a question for you
if you're
guys.
willing to gamble when you're a manager.
How do you think he betted? Do you think it was he bet on his team and so like he
definitely bet to win when his stud pitcher.
Right? I don't think he bet against himself.
I don't think he bet against himself either. But
I do.
You do?
Yeah, think about it. You have like your fifth starter going up some days on like against their number one star because that's just the way it works sometimes after the schedule.
Do you think?
I'm not taking that bet.
Do you think he managed his bullpen around when he was going to bet for his team to win? Like if he did exclusively bet for his team to win, do you think he managed his bullpen knowing when he was going to bet and when he wasn't?
If he didn't mean to, he definitely did it consciously. Like you have to. Like there's no way that you don't. There's no way you're like different.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a $2,000 bet on this game. Yeah, you know what? Let's bring him in instead.
Yeah,
his ERA's like a 2, the other one's like a 4. Let's get him in.
Yeah, exactly. But as a player, man, you can't deny the hits. Big Red Machine.
No, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame as a player. I just don't think. He's got a place anymore.
No offense to Barry Larkin, and I think Barry Larkin got in because of ESPN ties personally, but. We could dive into that conversation. I don't know where you guys stand on that. I think he was a Hall of Famer because of that. I can maybe dive in more into it in terms of stats.
As we said with Kurt Schilling, he didn't get in the Hall of Fame, we think.
Because of people didn't like him.
Yeah, now people like
the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, like he
it definitely works that
ESPN.
way.
I know Schilling was working at ESPN before too, but there's a little bit of a difference about what people had perceptions of.
Yeah, I remember when Schilling worked for ESPN, he'd even say questionable things there.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't last that long. It wasn't a long tenure there.
Yeah,
it's a great point.
Based on the things he said.
Yeah, it's a great point because if you're more likable, I'm going to believe that the voters, since it's their opinion and their bias, they're going to vote for the guy they like more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately. Did you guys hear the new rule? Not new rule, but they might. It's a rumor that they might make the voters have their name tied to the players.
I thought that was happening regardless.
Is it now happening?
Yeah.
Because that's interesting.
I think it's 100% starting next year.
Do you like that? Because now they have to answer for it.
You know how?
Because now you find out like you didn't vote for Griffey.
Exactly. Ask me that again, and I'm second thinking that.
Yeah, well, you might.
Because how much hate mail you get?
Oh, a lot, a ton.
Everybody.
When Mariano Rivera goes,
even people who don't even like baseball, they'll be like, "Oh, I love Ken Griffey Jr. baseball for N64."
Now the reason why I'm going to go to Rivera because I think he'll be the next one that's going to come up and have the best chance of being unanimous. If he's not unanimous this time,
that's 2018.
Who's ever?
So that's like a year after this,
yeah. So say he doesn't get the unanimous. Say someone leaves him off. Like now his name's tied to it. Now he's got to answer to it. That makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you think these voters are going to now say, you know what, I'm voting for Rivera. I know he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to do what I've done in the past because then I'll have to answer for it.
Doesn't that set up a possibility of like if Mo is unanimous and you see a lot more of unanimous? That said, like
that's my point.
Of, this is why it happened. So like they're unanimous because of that.
There's always
these ones weren't. Because,
when you make a change like that, there's gonna be, especially when voters there's no magic numbers, right? Yeah. The voter has their own opinion.
Not to change, the sport, but why all of a sudden, when the years of Jordan and even LeBron and others, obviously like Magic, Bird, you can go back to there, but like why was Steph Curry the first unanimous MVP? Right?
Yeah. Now they don't have the voters names for that, do they?
I think they're anonymous.
Anonymous too, right?
I think so. But that's still my question though. Like,
do you think this is something that sways over into all other sports now?
Maybe, yeah. Why not? I mean, you have people out there like Buster Olney who's already like putting it out there. Like,
he lets you know who he's going to vote for. Yep. Peter Gammons does the same thing too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Peter Gammons.
Love Peter Gammons.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a Red Sox bias.
Pedro Gomez is my boy.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, so every year, like I would love watching ESPN. Like right before baseball season started to begin, every year he'd pick a Red Sox to either win the Cy Young or MVP. Every year, it was awesome, and it'd switch between Manny and Big Papi, like just constantly. Maybe throwing like like another player, like I think Dustin Pedroia is going to surprise people this year. It was just awesome.
Did he at least get Dustin right that year?
He got the year. Who did he get right? I can't remember. He got one of the Red Sox right, but I don't know if it was that year of Dustin Pedroia.
You know who my friend got on his radio show at Plattsburgh?
And now you're gonna advertise another radio show.
Can I guess though? Oh no, never mind.
Okay.
Who was you gonna say?
Buster Olney, because he does he goes to not goes to classes, but he does Skype sessions with their sports journalism.
He ran into Bob. Oh my God.
Costas?
No. The guy that's on around the horn all the time. Around the horn all the time.
Bob Plaschke or Bill Plaschke?
No. The Boston writer guy.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
Bob
Ryan?
With the white hair.
Bob Ryan.
He ran into him at a rest stop on the Mass Turnpike one day and asked him to come on his radio show, and he did. I'm like, that's awesome.
We just need to fall into that look.
What rest stop is that?
I don't know, but I'm gonna message my buddy and see if we can
hang out.
Is he frequently on? Yeah.
I'm gonna see if we can get Bob Ryan on the show.
We work hard to get guests for you guys.
We just haven't been able to bring one on.
Yeah.
We will.
Because when you guys like to sit sportside.
I think we're shooting too high right now. I think we gotta.
We're shooting way too high.
Yeah, like when we say like these guys,
we should get like young like players who are maybe playing with Tri-City.
That will make our show different from the others too.
Yeah.
Though.
100%. Brainstorm on air here.
Now we're brainstorming on air. I like it though.
Tweet in your ideas at Sittin Sportside on YouTube or on Twitter. Yeah, on YouTube.
On YouTube, you can comment on our YouTube.
You can listen to us on YouTube
at Team 1045, and
or just YouTube Sittin Sportside podcast. It's easier to find us.
I'm at Eric H1045.
I'm at announcer MJ44.
I'm still at Hogan Hoagie.
Hogan Hoagie!
I'm trying to change it.
Just
don't change it.
I feel like
Keep it.
Well, it's so unprofessional though. Like when and the worst part is Twitter's now become like a professional tool.
Oh yeah.
As you get older, so like if I say I tweeted at somebody to like, hey, we'd like you on our show, and they're like, Hogan Hoagie. What? Who is this?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, so
we'll make it at Hogan Hoagie 1045.
Any last thoughts on baseball at all here?
I'm ready for baseball season to start. That's my last thought.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't think Mike Pineda is going to be Cy Young, so just wanted to get that out
nobody
there
asked you. Who's your Cy Young pick?
It's so early.
Hogan.
I'll just go with like the simple. You got Clayton Kershaw and then
do you want to react about current news? Do you want to react about the Logan Forsythe trade?
Actually, yeah, we should. To the Dodgers. Angeles, yeah. Yes, I love that pickup for them.
And, still don't think it's going to make a difference.
Jose De Leon, the young pitching prospect, he's gone now. He's going to Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay continues to bring in pitching and trading away offense. Go figure, right?
Their pitching it's never been their issue. It's always been their offense.
But they were going after Brian Dozier, the Dodgers were, and they were only willing to offer De Leon, and Twins wanted more for Dozier, which I would put Dozier ahead of Forsythe. To
make the argument, Dozier's the best second baseman in the game right now.
No, Jose Altuve blows him away.
Jose Altuve.
It's close.
I would even...
Yeah.
I put
I see where you're going, but in my opinion, I don't think so.
I would put no, maybe, but definitely after
I would say
the power
top three
numbers were ridiculous, especially that run in August for Dozier. Oh man.
I think the top three, hands down, Altuve, Dozier, Cano. And you can flip flop those any way you want to go.
Yeah. I think Altuve, in my opinion, Altuve is just on another level. Don't forget the batting champ, by the way, though. Oh, yeah. DJ.
Yeah.
LeMahieu,
He'll
baby. Continue to be underrated for a while.
I know, which is a shame. He had like, 20 stolen bases, too? The guy, does it all.
And he's a great defender.
Wasn't there like a ridiculous number of 30 second basemen and shortstops last year that hit over 20 home runs?
Oh, yeah. Including Starlin.
Yeah.
It's starting to become
and Didi.
Yeah, right.
We're 5 years ago? You're happy if your shortstop hits
hit 10.
Yeah.
And now they're hitting 20. It's like, what?
I remember, it's just now it's a different game.
Yeah.
Carlos
Some other
Carrera,
stuff
those guys have changed
cycling
it.
in here. Valbuena signed with the Angels today. Luis Valbuena.
Yeah, because they need more hitting.
Saltalamacchia to the Blue Jays, if that matters. Hundley to the Giants. Nick Hundley, the backup catcher.
Nick Hundley's
What about
solid.
The Mets? I mean, did we react enough with the Dodgers deal?
Wasn't there a point where Saltalamacchia
No, really,
couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher?
Well, Mike made it blatantly clear that he thinks that Forsythe does absolutely nothing for the Dodgers.
I think he's a better pickup than Howie Kendrick probably as of right now.
Oh, yeah. Kendrick wasn't playing second down the stretch though. He was playing more left field.
But that's again though, like he was supposed to be.
It was Utley.
Yeah, he was supposed to be their second baseman. Then
right.
And I think he's better than Utley.
Forsythe is talking about underrated. I think he's a very underrated player.
He's better than Utley, right? Right
healthy,
now?
he was,
I think Forsythe's a good player. I just don't.
You don't believe
I think
the
Dodgers need more to go further.
What more do they? I mean, at this point, like, what more do they need? They're now their outfielder. I mean, they need Puig to be what Puig was.
I think they could use another
2013.
starter to go with Urias and.
I feel like there's
Kershaw.
just something in that clubhouse that's.
They still have
toxic.
Casimir, right? I mean, Urias might take a step forward.
Kershaw will be back.
Obviously Kershaw. That is. We definitely forget someone on that rotation.
Oh, Rich Hill.
Rich Hill, yeah, they
Oh,
signed
yeah.
Rich Hill back. I mean, so. And then they got Kenley. They kept Kenley Jensen. They kept Justin Turner.
I don't know
They
what-
stayed pat. I guess they stayed boring and then brought in Forsythe.
But I don't know what else you could have done.
Right.
I think they're one
Like they could have probably.
one good solid starter away from. I mean,
From get what? From being the perennial favorite. Because right now
Yeah.
they're probably still in good shape, probably as a playoff team. I think.
but I just what I'm saying though. Forsythe helps because they need that second baseman.
Right.
But I think their pitching is still where they're lacking.
Casimir stays healthy. Urias takes a step forward though. They got their
To me,
four.
you can't count on Casimir.
Yeah, health permitting, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. When he first came up, he was lightning, but
But he could be your fourth starter.
Right.
So would you be
is
happy? I'd be happy
probably
with him
is.
as my fourth starter. If he
By the way,
pitched.
those
as
are
a
all
4 or
four
5, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
They're all four lefties.
That creates some problems for the other teams, but it also,
Yeah.
you'd like to have a right-handed starter, I would think.
Imagine if they
Right.
still had Greinke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
they
look
didn't, you know what, though?
Greinke?
You know what, though? They didn't win with Greinke.
I didn't. That is true.
True.
I know what you're saying, though. Like, that was only... Well, actually, he was on the team for more than a year, so...
Year and a half, maybe.
Not a good amount. A couple years, I thought.
Maybe it was 2.5, but
And, I mean, he didn't do that hot with the Diamondbacks. And I'm not saying he won't be, come back to his ace self, but, again, would Greinke have made that much of a difference last year
Right.
for them? With the way he pitched last year? I don't think so.
No, he took us. He obviously fell off a little bit in Arizona.
Yeah, I think he'll find his way again, but at the same time, I'm not,
Arizona.
And that was a big contract. The
Right.
Dodgers would have been stuck with another contract that big.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
If you can't win with Greinke and Kershaw locked up like that, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to bring up is the Mets. Like, are the Mets too crowded in the outfield, you think? Because they're keeping Bruce and keeping Granderson probably.
They should not trade Jay Bruce. Because right now you're going to get nothing for him. You know what I mean? His value is so... I got to give credit to my friend for actually
No one
pointing
gave
this
up
out.
anything, though.
Huh?
No one wanted to give up anything for Bruce.
That's what I mean.
They overpaid
2 years
So
ago.
if you do give him up, you're going to get even worse.
Right.
Now,
We're
you're
going to give up
hoping-
what? Dilson Herrera. That's the
Yeah.
main
You're
thing that I could think of.
See, as a Mets fan, or the Mets organization, I should say, I'm hoping Jay Bruce, if I don't want him still, I'm hoping Jay Bruce comes out on fire like he did last year. I'm hoping by the All-Star break, he's got 16 home runs, he's batting like 240, whatever else. Then you can trade him, though, to a team.
Ooh, you trade him at that point? Because if
Yes.
you're a Mets, though, you're still trying to make that's the
Because, as you said, their outfield is pretty crowded.
But is it crowded enough to where a
But
guy
you got Conforto too.
mashing?
He
Right,
fell off
exactly.
last year.
He fell off, but
But he
you
can
wanna-
also
you
come
want to
back.
give him time. You want to give Nimmo
But
time.
that's my point, though, right? You've seen Jay Bruce start out
You got
hot.
an
You've seen him
aging
finish off.
outfield there. You got to do something.
My belief is
that
if
would be
you're-
the hottest topic.
If you're trading him
July
right now,
31st, if he's still on the Mets and he's mashing like you're saying, that'd be the hottest topic. Do the Mets trade or not trade him? Do you keep
Yeah.
the hottest hot player in baseball, or do you trade when you're a playoff contender, or do you trade him to get value?
if you're actively trying to trade him at that point, at this point right now, like seriously, I'm pretty sure they would trade him for.
How much slack did they get when they're hitting just I mean, no guarantee Bruce. And here's my thing. If you want me to talk more about Bruce, unfortunately for Bruce, he has to show it. He he gets too much in his head. When he goes on a
Saw
competitive team, he just thinks about winning, and it's not a bad thing, but it hasn't done well for his career, hasn't done well for his numbers, because he just gets too much in his head about winning and about making sure that he is the guy and he's driving in runs, that he just loses it on the field. When he was playing with the Reds, he had no worries because he knew he's probably going to get traded, and if he wasn't, he was going to be on one of the worst teams in the National League, the majors.
To that point, do you think it helps that now he's going into an off season with a team that's expected
now he's
to
going to
compete?
be more comfortable with the team?
You would think so, right? Because you're on the Reds, okay, we're not going to compete. Then all of a sudden you get traded to a contender that just went to the World Series last year, and now there's, just like you said, there's this whole sense of responsibility now to perform at this level.
I think it's time for him to get selfish. He's in a contract year, so if you do well for yourself, you do well for your team.
That's another point why I think the Mets, if he started out hot, ship him.
Right.
Because you're actively trying to trade him.
You're not going to be able to sign him. And if he's having that type of a year.
And even if you're in contention, you could still get a piece to help you this year. Mm-hmm. We've seen the Mets starters and bullpen get affected by injuries the past 2 years. Who knows? They don't have Bartolo Colon now to save them. And I'm serious. Think about it. Colon was just that guy. Bartolo.
It's true. No, it's true.
The big sexy was just there, though.
If we're talking about big sexy, can we talk about that play when he flipped the ball between his legs or whatever?
Yeah, the Mets,
that was absurd.
The Mets won't have that. I mean, think about it. The Mets lost Harvey last year, right?
Yeah.
We'll put Bartolo in there, and hopefully he gives us solid outing. The dude performed each of the last 2 years.
He was the healthiest and most consistent pitcher.
Yeah, and now you just lost
on a team with 3, 4. Obviously, Wheeler was out for the year, but young guys.
Yeah, and now if their pitchers stay healthy, obviously you won't miss them that much. But last year you fell into luck where we have Bartolo.
With him and even Seth Lugo. I mean, Seth Lugo wasn't supposed to do as good as he did when he came up.
No, yeah. I mean, so you never know. A pitcher could go down for the Mets again, and they could be looking for a pitcher now. Mm-hmm. And Jay Bruce.
And they got rid of Verrett. I believe they traded Logan Verrett to the Orioles. So.
Yes. Did Chris Tillman sign with them again, the Orioles?
I haven't seen anything about Chris Tillman, so
I thought he was a free agent, and then
I know we haven't talked about it, but Mark
Trumbo, yep.
He returns, with less money than he. Even Edwin Encarnacion, if we're talking about him going to Cleveland, he got less money than
I don't think Trumbo's going to have a big year this year.
Bautista probably made out the best, right? He got the 1 year
deal,
wanted,
$18 million.
It's still $18 million. That's a good amount.
Yeah, and there's a player option and team option. They both have to say yes, so more than likely it's going to be a no.
And a vesting for if they both accept, I guess?
Yeah. But most likely that would never happen.
Probably.
Because if Jose has a really good season, he's going to want to test it out. And then if he doesn't, the Blue Jays are going to say, no way.
What if he has the same season as he did this year?
Yeah, they might just be like, all right, we'll just keep you again.
I don't think Trumbo's going to have a big year. I think Trumbo's numbers are going to drop.
Here's why maybe they decline a little bit, but if he hits you 35 home runs again.
You said that about Chris Davis. Well, I guess they did drop probably when you said that. But he didn't drop.
No, but
it's hot.
I don't think Trumbo.
Trumbo's in a lineup where they're going to pitch to him. They're not going to pitch around him. If
they were smart, what they would do, what Buck Showalter would do, is I would hit Machado, Davis, Trumbo, Jones. Actually, this is what I would do. I would lead off J.J. Hardy. Okay.
Whoa! This is just like a.
Why J.J.
Let
Hardy?
me finish.
J.J. Hardy.
Or
what about Caleb Joseph? No.
whoever you want to lead off. Okay.
So anybody.
Adam Jones second.
Anybody lead off.
Machado third. Trumbo fourth. Davis fifth. That would be my top 5.
Wellington Castillo lead off.
I'll go lead off for the Orioles, and
so basically, what you're saying is you want to put their 4 best hitters 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why not?
Okay.
Give me a reason why it's a terrible idea.
It's not terrible.
No, definitely
really your opinion.
I love creative ideas for lineups. To be honest with you,
but that's my point. That's why I think Trumbo will be fine, because if you're hitting between,
I think
Chris Davis.
I think I'll probably want Machado hitting 2 or 3. I don't want him hitting lead off. I'd rather prefer Machado.
I don't think Machado's a good lead.
Where'd you have Machado?
3.
Yeah, 3 is where I agree with that.
Or 2, 3. You can either hit him second, Jones third, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. I think Hyun-Soo Kim. We forgot about him.
And I think
Kim bat 1 or 2.
Yeah, and I think you got to use Zach Britton more too.
I think he learned that lesson.
Sorry.
I think he learned that lesson from last year.
Hopefully.
Can I just at least defend Ubaldo?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I know we're a few months too late, but everybody just wants to just go at Ubaldo. But in my personal opinion, I don't think the Orioles are in the playoffs without Ubaldo. He was doing humans work as a starter, not a reliever, as a starter for them down the stretch. And he was putting together good start after good start after good start, and that's why I think they made the playoffs. Now, it doesn't excuse Showalter for not using Britton at all. I think that, as someone, I was sitting there actually doing the game for 104.5 The Team. Obviously, you're listening to Sittin Sportside podcast. We're here on 104.5theteam.com. But yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, he's bringing in Ubaldo. So this is either going to be like a genius decision or, oh my God, we're going to see Ubaldo just get absolutely destroyed.
Can we agree that Ubaldo hasn't been the same since he first came up?
But basically what I'm trying to say is like Buck Showalter knew how good his pitcher was going.
Yeah.
But I don't think he calculated in, starting and relieving is two different things.
Yeah.
You don't leave the best statistical reliever we've seen in a few years.
You're warming up in a different way than you normally would.
Right.
It'd be like saying,
I still got. I guess I defend Buck more than anybody else probably does because of how much I realized Ubaldo was pitching great down the stretch. That's just me.
Let's just say, hypothetically, here, it's Game 7 of the World Series. You're up by 1. You got.
You want to use an actual? Do you want to use an actual circumstance? Want to go back to this World Series? Game number 7. You're up. What was it? 2-3 runs. You bring in Chapman after pitching him the day before. I don't go Chapman there. I know, but I knew Chapman wasn't going to have 100% stuff.
I agree bringing Chapman, not that early.
Right. Especially leaving him in there, and even. You're up set. Were they up 5-2 or 7-2? They're up 7-2 before Rizzo hit the 2-run home run.
7-2.
And then Rizzo hit a 2-run home run to go up 9-2.
Yep.
How do you not have anyone going to the bullpen even up 5?
Yeah. To your point, though, this is something I think we should get into. Do you guys believe? See, I'm against the typical closer thing, where your best guy should go 19. I think that's so stupid.
I think you gotta go with the hottest arm.
But I'm saying like
it's example.
Like
Terry Francona's proved your point, right? 100%. Oh yeah. Yeah. No.
If you have Mariano Rivera,
that's why Girardi drive me nuts because I thought that's how they should have done it with the 3.
Yeah. Well, especially when you have all 3.
Right.
I mean, when you have those 3,
oh, yeah.
But you have Mariano Rivera, 7th inning, tie ball game, bases loaded, 1 out. You got Albert Pujols up.
Oh boy.
Let's go with this guy instead. Why wouldn't you put your best pitcher in?
You know what? I'm not going to say anything because Joe Torre managed brilliantly when so I can't even because Mo would go 2 innings a lot back in.
See, if you ask
I was just using that as
I know
a
your
point. Because if you have a great closer or you have a great pitcher,
who am I saving for the? I mean, I know you're telling.
But why save for the 9th, right? Because in the 9th you might be up 5-2. You might be up 6-2, where you don't need him as much. It's great to have him close out the game.
You also might bring in Mariano. He lets up the runs. You don't have, and then and say the other guy comes in, he lets up the runs, and then in both circumstances you get the lead back. One of them you still have Mariano, the other one you don't. I know what you're saying.
No,
I know what you're saying.
I get what you're saying, but my opinion is you're not a fortune teller, right? You're not going to know what's going to happen by the 9th inning at that point. Why not give your team still the best chance to win in the 7th instead of waiting to the 9th and figuring out where you are?
Here, I have an interesting take. Okay. I'm looking at playoffs, right? It's an interesting playoff strategy. Say you love your rotation so much, and you even think a 6th guy. You have a 6th guy that you love. So, like, say the Mets really put it together, and Gazelman puts it together, and Lugo, and all the guys.
I think I know where you're going to go with this, actually.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Like, at what point do you kind of just put together a strategy where you give him a certain pitch count for maybe 2 innings, and if he gets through the 2 innings in like a very efficiently, maybe 15 to 25 pitches, maybe you throw him out there for the 3rd inning, and then you go to Harvey, and then you go to Syndergaard, then you go to DeGrom, and by that time you're in the 8th or 9th, then maybe you go to Familia, or maybe you go to
talking
Wheeler,
like a Game 7 situation?
He's talking just
I'm
like
talking
a playoff
day 1 of the
scenario.
playoffs.
So you'd have like Harvey and Wheeler going Game 1, basically.
Right.
In a sense. The only thing I don't like about, I kind of like it, but the only thing I could argue is what we were saying earlier, where a starter comes in as a reliever.
Right. Now, yeah,
they don't
I
get
agree.
that same kind of.
I agree.
But if they know they're going to come in the game,
right,
they could prepare.
Ubaldo's sitting there like, okay, I know I might be used, but he doesn't know for a fact he's coming in.
Like it sounds stupid, but like when they do like long toss before the game and stuff like that.
Right.
Like they could still do that, but like the
Right.
time difference between like
See,
when
it-
from that warm
It's definitely
up.
a different animal, but I just like thinking out of the box. Isn't some instances?
Yeah,
You know?
no, you got to evolve.
Would you ever start a closer?
No.
Yeah. If I was confident, yeah, why not?
Like you really needed
First inning of a game. Let me tell you this. This is my opinion. First inning of a game, World Series, whatever.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, same situation. My closer's sitting there, and I have no confidence in my pitcher. Say it's my
You put your closer in the first inning.
yeah.
What?
I don't care what inning it is. I don't care. Say you're going in and you have your fourth pitcher starting for some reason.
Okay, you know how you told me that Michael Pineda winning the AL Cy Young is the craziest thing?
But the numbers
that
prove,
might be the craziest thing. And Hoagie, I
the statistics
love you.
prove my point, though.
Yeah, but no manager in their right mind is going to go, oh my God, it's the first inning. It's the bases loaded. Hey, Mo! Yo, come in.
No, we're talking starting the game, man.
So you're talking starting the game?
Oh, you're talking about.
I'm talking like I'd bring him in the first thing.
Oh, okay,
Like if
okay,
bases were
okay.
like if you're in a jam and you know what? Here's a better scenario. Your pitcher gets hurt.
Yep.
How about that? Your pitcher gets hurt. You're in a jam. Whatever.
Well, you got to. I think if it's Game 7 of the World Series or just in general.
Any game at this point.
Well,
Actually,
definitely.
I don't care what
definitely
inning
in the
they
World
pitch.
Series. Like Lester was going to be available.
Yeah.
I maybe bring in my closer and let Lester start the next inning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's a great. That's
that's
what
the
I
thing.
would do. I
If
wouldn't
it's
leave my
bases
closer.
loaded-
I wouldn't leave my closer in for like 2, 3, 4, 5.
I would say 2. I think you might want to get one more out of
Yeah,
him. if
well,
you can.
my point
especially
is
if he gets out of it
I
efficiently.
wouldn't treat him like a starter. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
if you're already at that point in the game where this is huge, this could determine the game, and you want to like do your best to get out of it, put in your best pitcher.
Yeah.
It's become this stupid rule
Oh,
where
unfortunately,
you have to do it. Like it's in all sports though. Every sport's got their
But-
stupid, in my opinion.
Andrew Miller was sensational, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think I think they needed to have. I mean, they had to go to the bullpen more. I think because what happened. I mean, he made it all the way to Game 7 before. I mean, I know it's hard to like even Andrew Miller at his highest level to expect him to not give up any runs. I know that is unheard. Like that's unreasonable. I get it. But then there's still that speculation of was he overused and that's why he grew to fastball possibly. I think it was to Fowler, right?
Yep.
So
Dexter
I'm not
Fowler.
sure. It might have been a slide. I don't remember exactly the pitch, but he grooved something and let up a home run. Like I said, I can't necessarily blame that on overusage because we're all human here. You know, like they're not going to get everybody out. But just because how he was rolling, do they need to maybe have used more pitchers? I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, nobody's perfect, obviously. You can't.
I just think it's a stupid
Rule that
it's like
it's
it's almost
not the
a
ninth
rule,
inning, you can't take him, put him.
and they'll
Well,
catch slack
here's
for
another
it.
thing.
Obviously, if it doesn't work, but
This is another thing that I just want to get off my chest. We're talking about closers and whatnot. There was games during the year, and there was multiple ones, but one just sticks out in my mind. It was against the Texas Rangers, New York Yankees. This is back when they had the big three. They already used their big three. This is actually before I believe Chapman got traded. This was like the big stat. Like they only had lost one game when they all pitched.
Yeah.
And it was this game. It was a rain. I think they had 2 outs, and then Chapman came in and like pitched 15 pitches, and maybe like a 40-minute rain delay. We need to get one more out. I forgot what the run difference was, but you know what? Girardi didn't want to throw him back out there.
Was that the 3 rain delay game?
I think so. I think it was something like that. But Girardi didn't want to throw him back out there because he was like, it's after a rain delay, so let me go. And then they blow the game.
Yeah.
They blow the game, and whoever came in, it probably was like Nick Goody or someone like that, or Kirby Yates, and they come in and blow the game. And at that point, I'm thinking, we're trading Chapman. Like, what are we saving him for?
No, it's such a good point, though. Yeah.
And B, I mean, you need one more out. I mean, I know there is that like sense of like, oh, can't wake up his arm, but I was just like, you brought him here for one reason, right? To close baseball games.
do your job.
Right, exactly.
Like I don't want to hear the excuses, which I have a feeling Yankee fans might hear because he clearly has differences with the coaching staff sometimes on when he should be used.
Right.
He doesn't like to
So
be used back.
do you think there's a
days, right?
possibility maybe he even communicated through his interpreter to Girardi that I don't want to come out after this rain delay? You think that's possible?
Probably. I mean, he had some words to say to Madden,
He did.
so I wouldn't
And
put
he-
it past him.
Do you think it was good? It was definitely good that he waited, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he would have said it right
If-
after Game 6. I mean, that would have been a terrible time for
It would have been because I would have been circling around for
But do you
Game
think
7.
I mean, they probably interviewed him through an interpreter, but do you think like if he spoke English, then maybe that would have come out? Nah, I don't know. That's probably a dumb question.
No, I see what you mean. No, if because you're in that moment. If he says it right there and there's no translator,
yeah.
obviously the point would never get across.
Right.
I could totally see that. I just think that's
I mean,
why
we know how Mike
that's
feels
why I'm
about
with you on
Girardi.
Kenley Jansen though right now.
Yeah, don't get me going on Girardi today.
We've already had enough rants on this podcast about Girardi by Mike.
I'm going to try and calm it down for the last couple.
My second question, we talked about this on the show before, right? And then this is kind of based on what happened recently. We saw Saltalamacchia signed to be backup catcher for Russell Martin, and then now Hundley. Actually, a big role, though, in San Francisco with Posey. Could get Posey. We talk about that
And
as well.
Hundley's a good hitter.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great season last year, but he
was in
proven to
Colorado,
be a
but
good hitter.
he's definitely still had a good season.
Mhm.
Yeah. How important, though? How important is that backup catcher? I mean, because we were talking about it with a lot with the Yankees and Sanchez. Now you have to. So if Sanchez, God forbid, heaven forbid, he goes down, you got to rely on Romine.
I don't trust Austin Romine as far as you can throw him.
Right. So
truthfully.
You know what? I guess for me, the importance of the backup catcher comes to how great is your catcher already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, you guys have Gary Sanchez.
See,
right.
Like, if you lose Gary Sanchez in your lineup, you'll lose a lot of pop.
The guy that I loved for the Yankees was Chris Stewart, and he wasn't anything with the bat, but he just knew how to catch the bat.
See,
That goes back to what we were talking about on the Hall of
you
Fame.
can get a mediocre backup catcher and be okay. To me, Austin Romine's below mediocre to be a backup.
Well,
you want John Ryan Murphy, Mr. Oh, we got the wild card. Let's party our heads off and then lose to the Astros in the first round.
I mean, there's teams that don't have like a good starting catcher.
As you can tell, I was a little upset with John Ryan Murphy after they won that.
There's teams that don't have a good starting catcher, so I'm not like worried if their backup catcher is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess you got to pick your poison.
To me, there's like 5 or 6 top solid catchers in the majors, and the rest are like tier A starting catchers.
Yeah,
and the rest are B, C.
Well, I think
it's hard to find a great catcher.
It is, and someone like, for me, Yadier.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yadi.
He's
Yadi,
still
to me,
top 3.
He's fluctuated in terms of hitting, though, right? Like he's been, like at the beginning of his career,
Yeah,
then,
but
like,
I'm not.
Then he was
him.
like, where did this come from? He was great, and now he's back to still a solid hitter.
You're gonna run against him? I'm not running against him.
No, but he's still in the top tier just based on the way he plays the position of catcher. And even with Jose Molina, like Jose Molina wasn't anything in terms of hitting. Last home run, I believe, at the old Yankee Stadium, but right, isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then Posada, I think, had the first one at the new one.
Yep.
But his defense was so good. And then Rene Rivera, look at him with the Mets this year. He played over Travis d'Arnaud, not because he hit better, because he was a lot better of a catcher. I think when you look at these teams that want to win playoff games, I don't think it matters how the guy hits. I think it's about how the guy defends. And then you can even look at the same thing with shortstop.
Yeah, if you have a shortstop that can't,
unless you have the top the cream of the crop now, it's all about the guy who can if he can field.
Yeah, you gotta have a fair combination of both.
I think
good fielding.
I think Didi doesn't get enough credit for. I'm not saying that as a Yankee homer either. I
find that hard to believe.
No, I thought Didi was good in Arizona. And everybody's like,
he wasn't good in Arizona.
Like statistically, he wasn't great.
But he never really got the chance to shine in Arizona either.
I agree. He's a lot better now.
He's a lot better. He's a lot better than people give him credit for. I think personally, that's just my.
He had a heck of a year.
But like, how much credit are you gonna give him? I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like,
one more credit.
I mean, I hate the Red Sox, and I think Bogarts is one of the best shortstops in the majors.
Yeah. You don't think so? Well, now I'm surprised.
Really?
I don't think you could name 2 better.
I think I'd take Correa over him, but
yeah, so do I would take Carrera, and then I guess maybe Troy Tulowitzki would be my second.
Nah, not right now. I wouldn't take Troy.
And then I don't know who else then, right?
I'd say Tulo's probably third.
But who else could you really take over Bogart? He's a great fielder, and he's above. Actually, he's a good hitter.
Name anyone other than Carlos Correa you would take over Bogarts.
I'm trying to think. No, Bogarts is definitely probably.
It'd be like me saying, like, I'll
best.
take Christian Vasquez over Gary Sanchez.
Who? Didi over?
No, I was saying like shortstop wise, like just a Yankee Red Sox comparison.
I wish we had Bogarts. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
it was like the years.
Francisco Lindor. How could I forget about Francisco
Hey,
Lindor?
You don't take Lindor over Bogarts? Are you crazy? Oh, what?
100%.
What? I'm done.
What do you mean you're done?
Did
you not watch the Indians last year in the playoffs?
But you would seriously take Lindor over Bogarts?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm dying.
What are you oh my godding about?
Oh no, this is between you two now. I want to hear the reasons why.
What?
I want to hear the reasons why from both of you.
How?
Well, I mean, okay.
Lindor's had one good year.
That's not true. Are you serious? He had one good full year, fine. But he had probably better. He lost Rookie of the Year to Carlos Correa because Carlos Correa had a better full body of work. But Francisco Lindor's last 3 months of 2015 were insane.
Okay.
They were really good.
You're going to make that argument? Gary Sanchez should have won American League Rookie of the Year last year.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like he didn't win because Correa had the better body of work, just like Fulmer won because he had the better body of whole work.
Yeah, but if you actually look at Fulmer's overall numbers, they weren't that spectacular.
We're debating something else now, I think. But
I'm telling you, I would take Bogarts over him any day. Any day. The only shortstop in the majors right now I would take over him is Correa. And that's even pushing it because I think they're both equally as good.
To me, Linder, it's just, I know Bogarts had a hard time maybe like taking a leadership role because he's got Ortiz, he's got Pedroia and whatnot. Bogarts to me is just like, he sits back and he just does his thing, which is great. Great. But Francisco Lindor, he's the leader of that team, hands down. I know Mike Napoli was a big part.
I think Jason Kipnis is a pretty big leader too, though. Actually, yeah.
I agree. Kipnis is a better leader.
Are you serious?
Yes!
Like the guy that goes out there, like Jason Kipnis.
Jason Kipnis has the greatest batting stance in Major League Baseball.
But like Jason Kipnis, how many years has Jason Kipnis like been in the league before Francisco Lindor, and when did this team like actually pick it up?
And you're gonna tell me that Lindor put the Indians over the top? I don't agree.
How can you disagree with that? Him and Jose Ramirez are like the two biggest reasons why they went over the top. I mean, and Napoli per se.
Yeah.
There's not
I like this argument.
There's not like what?
I like this argument.
Oh, he's
There's
just
not
sitting
a
there
big
like, I'm
enough-
just gonna chill.
To me though, there's not a big enough discrepancy to have like to not even say no question.
I feel like
you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying like there's no question with Lindor being better than Bogarts. I think it's close enough to where you can pick one or the other, and I'm picking Lindor
I think we need a fresh take here. Andy, what do you think?
How does that smile not just get in your soul, man?
Bogart's got a pretty good smile.
Yeah, but is he always smiling? Lindor literally never stops smiling.
I'm gonna go with my blacker brother, Xander Bogarts. Okay, yeah.
I mean, not to, but like Lindor is as well.
He's not as black. Bogarts is blacker.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Where does this come from?
I don't know
I'm
what
intervening.
this is about. I don't know what
Very fair
this is
argument.
I'm just saying.
I'm just using my eye test, but you look. I mean,
You both have made some valid points.
I'm sticking to my guns. I would take Bogarts and Correa way before I'd ever take Lindor. Lindor. That's all I have to say.
Oh man,
I think he's in the same class as them, but I would take Bogarts and Carrera.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like.
well, why you? I mean, why you taking? I mean, listen, I was 100% there for Correa in 2015. I thought he should have won Rookie of the Year, but we're talking after 2016. I know you're probably still thinking like what Correa is going to be, right? Is that what you're thinking? But like
Correa's got the most upside out of all of them.
Correa, yeah, upside. But I'm talking about what we just saw in 2016.
Yeah, but I want to take the bet right now that that Bogarts and statistically hits, RBIs, home run wise, Bogarts and Correa both, not combined, both have a better year than Lindor next year
in home runs and RBIs.
In general, like just overall.
You're talking about every category, basically, right? Every hitting category.
Every statistical
All of them are
category.
gonna be better, or
I
just
think
like
they
average wise, Lindor had them both this year.
Yeah, you bet it's 301.
But home run wise,
I
got
think
Bogarts and Correa are gonna have more, and then RBI wise, I mean they both hit. I mean I don't know. I think Bogart hits what, top of the order.
He hits but he hits 3.
Bogart hits 3.
Yeah.
So they're all three
because
hitters.
it's Mookie.
Mookie was batting 2 for a little while, then he was batting. Well, then he ended
Dustin, right?
He ended up
Pedroia
lead off, and then Dustin would come up
Yeah.
second, and then Bogue, and then Poppy, then Hanley. That was last year.
I still think. I mean, Boston was I don't want to say by far, but they were like the best offense in the league last year, right?
Yeah,
Like
at least for most of the season. But
right.
yeah,
I mean,
if you could argue the Cubs probably might have been up there too. Actually,
yeah, you're right. Definitely, I'm talking.
But the Sox were
American League, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just, I test, I guess, and then numbers are close enough for me where I can say that.
Yeah. I mean, they're arguing to
Listen,
me.
I'm right there. Where like I'll put Bogarts and Correa like right there. But
You can argue.
Are you Lindor as the number one?
yeah.
See, to me, Lindor is 3.
Okay, so you all right? But you said there's a huge gap between 2 and 3 for you.
To me,
For me, there's not a big gap. They're all right
I
there.
only say this because
I just
I
choose
think
Lindor. Like, if I had to
Lindor
choose
hasn't
one.
proven enough to me. Does that make sense?
He hasn't had to play enough years.
Yes.
How about Correa though?
But Correa, to me,
Because
Correa has done
of how
more
he
in
looks
this
and-
time.
He's
He
had
the
more
gap's
home
not-
runs. He had more RBIs.
The gap's
That's
not
fair,
that
but
big, but it's big enough to me where
Let's stick with this topic.
I
Actually.
go 3. That he'd be number 3.
Who's got the better middle infielders? The combination out of those 3.
Oh my
because
God.
they're all really good.
Hands down, Houston.
I would say so too.
I would take Houston's middle infield out of.
But it's a pretty good question though, right? I mean, you got Kipnis there with Lindor. It's actually a pretty awesome question. Dustin Pedroia's just been hurt too much to even consider as one.
Give me Pedroia 7 years ago.
Yeah,
With Bogarts right now,
I would take the combination of the Indians though right now.
wouldn't even be close.
this pains me to say. I take Boston.
Really?
Pedroia still got that glove.
Pedroia is like.
See, I'm a Yankee fan. I love Pedroia. I just love the way he plays.
Yeah, exactly my point.
And that was like me with Ortiz. Like, I hated Ortiz as a Yankee fan, but I respected the hell out of the man.
Pedroia is like a lesser extent of Jeter by a lot, like in your view of him. But he's he's got that like attitude where like
That's why.
he'll play tough,
I do
like
have
he's
a
the
beer
captain.
with Pedroia.
But
We'll try to get that to happen.
I think Altuve and Correa just are gonna like. They got the prospects to be just out of this mind offensive numbers.
You know what problem they're going to have down the road? Money.
Well, and they already took out the pocketbooks this year, so I think they're gonna pay regardless.
Yeah, but are they going to be able to afford to keep both of them up the middle?
Why not? I think Houston pays. I mean, I think they're buying. They're going all in with these. I mean, they gave John Singleton like what, $10 million? Or no, was it? Yeah, I think it was like $10 million. The guy didn't even play a major league game yet.
Yeah.
Also, too, Jose Ramirez back to the Indians. I think Jose Ramirez might be one of the most underrated players in majors just in general. You could look at it as a fluke, whatnot. I don't know, but that's the last thing I want to say about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Whoa. Was that a sound effect or was that from an actual... Whoa.
Oh, world?
No, that was a sound effect.
Are we...
Want to segue into basketball a little bit?
Yeah, we can segue into basketball. I'm just fired up right now.
Fired up?
We don't have to keep it long.
Yes.
There wasn't that much.
Eric's going to turn on mic today and get all fired up. And
I just didn't like how you had like zero respect for Lindor, man. All of a sudden, it was just like not even close.
You know what's funny? There hasn't been like a moment yet where like me and you have been like in the heated yet, and it will come.
Yeah,
it will happen. Right now, Mike has had it with
well,
both.
you guys got 6 weeks without me to do it. So, wait, was I not supposed to throw that in there yet? Sorry.
Well, I mean,
no, you'll be congratulate Mike real quick. He's going to Arizona.
Mm-hmm. A little horse racing.
Yup.
Can we get a call?
Not right now.
No, okay.
Unless you want to pull one up on the internet.
I mean, I'm down.
We can pull one up on the internet.
Well, you could tease where people can watch it so they can hear you.
I have to look into that.
You don't know yet. We'll have that next week.
Yeah,
we'll have that
I don't know.
next week's podcast.
I know it'll be out there. I just don't know what
Was
websites.
a free agent picked up, signed
with the Yankees. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, that would be if I went to Naira. That would be that would be like signing with the Yankees.
This is big though too.
I'm a little surprised though you didn't give me a little more pushback on the Bogarts
Me?
Lindor thing. Yeah.
Looks he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still take Bogarts, but I understand Lindor's very good.
Right.
Also, I don't have as much of a disparity, as you do.
I think the middle infield.
Yeah, I mean, you got 50 more at bats. Bogarts did maybe because the lineup was better.
I think the thing is
So they got around more. I'm not saying that inflated stats because you can't. I mean, I don't think that's you can argue that, but like, I don't know. I just feel like because Lindor was on a pretty good offense too, but I get nothing like the Red Sox.
I think
it'll be interesting how Edwin, because now that he's got Edwin behind, I know Napoli was there, I know, but
no, it's different. It's completely
it'll
different.
It'll be different.
Beast.
Like, we'll see if he
completely
scores.
Different beast.
He is. I know. I'm looking at it, and he's behind Bogarts in runs by 16. He's behind Bogarts in RBIs by 11 and home runs by 6. The home runs, that won't change because of Encarnacion and even RBIs might not necessarily, maybe more opportunities. But the run scored is gonna be the biggest one, I guess, to see if he can like close the gap there. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I could see regret because I'm for one right now where I could see regression from Cleveland, but like because I could definitely see regression from Cleveland, but. So that gets me a little scared because then we'll be, Mike will get back in March and be like, oh no, there'll be no baseball season. But when Mike is back and we're talking baseball and like,
whoa, our baseball previews, you're gonna miss some of that.
Oh man,
we'll get you on for the Yankees especially.
I can still call in and we can.
You say that, but you're a big shot now.
Yeah,
so.
man. You're gonna be out with.
We know how it is. We know how it is.
We the
Chad
boys.
Brown gonna be out there.
We them boys. No, he doesn't go to Arizona.
Any jockeys? You're gonna be out. You're gonna be out.
I don't know any of them out there yet.
Okay. All right, but yeah, I'm a little nervous because I think that the whole team might regress a little bit. We'll talk about the divisions more, but like I think there's a chance that I know Edwin's gonna be like, but Napoli was a big part of them. I think there's a chance, like, I don't know. I don't see this team as necessarily as a sure thing to actually get back to the playoffs. If that makes sense.
I kind of do, just because, and it's not anything to do with their hitting. Their pitching staff is going to be phenomenal again.
But that's where I am, I guess.
Yeah, he's an animal.
That's
Salazar's going to be back.
That's where I am. I'm not, because they had this pitching staff. I know Salazar and Carrasco were out down the stretch last year, and they still did what they did in the playoffs. But they had this pitching staff 2 years ago and 3 years ago. I think that and then the best. I think their pitching staff was really, really good 2 years ago.
But I think
they didn't make the playoffs.
I think we could say now their batting, their hitting is way better, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I know what your point is.
Yeah. Kidman's had a down year in that time period too. That's probably why I was a little mind slip with him. But like at the same time, I still think Lindor led the team the most with his energy. All right, on the NBA.
Speaking of energy.
What, Russ?
How is Russell Westbrook not starting in the NBA All-Star game? I will say that first because that just irritates me.
Well, do you have a question for them? Oh, dude, I blew it.
He's gonna do the "Where's your head at?"
I didn't have queued up right.
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah, so
it's a good question to ask too. Where are their heads at?
But who are we talking about? We're not necessarily talking about the fans.
I'm talking fans, big time though.
You're talking fans
because
the NBA
that
fans
was the difference,
stupid.
Right?
Yeah, the fans are third, right? That's where they ranked him, third.
Third, yes. And that was the tiebreaker.
And that's so stupid. How?
Could we ask Steve Kerr though?
Let's ask Steve Kerr.
What he thinks about the whole
thing.
Yeah, let's ask him.
I saw the list. I saw all the guys who got votes, and I don't know. Were you allowed to vote for yourself? Yeah. So I don't know. Were guys voting for themselves? I mean, there were 50 guys on there who had no business getting votes. So although a lot of people wrote in their buddies for the presidential candidate vote as well. So maybe that's just your own way of making a statement. But I think if you're gonna give the players a vote, I think they should take it seriously.
Yeah. Right. I mean, because a lot of these players. Voted for them. Well, we don't know for a fact they voted for themselves, but I mean, if we pull it up, we can find out. That wasn't the problem with Russ, right? Because Russ had the players.
Here's my problem with the voting.
He had the media. It was the fans. That's true. That's true with what you said there before. But
how does Zaza Pachulia almost start over?
Because of the fans. Because he's got his whole country behind him.
But that's the point where we can make that. That's where this was good, right? Because that stopped it. Like the fan vote only getting 50% stopped that from happening.
Yep.
But it didn't correct. Like, do you think the fan vote should be the tiebreaker?
No.
Because if you're gonna go this far to even give now players 25% and media 25%, why?
It should probably. I want to say the media for some reason, just because they cover it the most. Should be the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I could see where you can make the argument it shouldn't, but at the same time, it's like. This guy's averaging a triple-double almost.
He's still averaging a triple.
Is he still? I mean, how
He's
is he
now
not
fifth all-time
I love
on the
Curry.
list.
I like Curry as a player, but he shouldn't be starting over him.
No.
No. But why does he start? Because
Right-
he's Steph Curry. He's on Golden
right
State
now,
Warriors.
if
And
you
you
gave me
got
the option,
who votes the most? Probably. I don't want to say this because
Well, you have the areas,
true,
though.
but the area, and then I think even kids, right?
Oh yeah.
And the most popular person among, I think, growing fans, like
Curry.
the younger kids, and they're growing as well. Steph Curry.
When was the last time you guys voted for an All-Star game?
1976.
I
and
vote.
it wasn't even live yet.
I tend to vote almost every year for MLB. I think
MLB's different. Yeah.
I vote for baseball.
Yeah.
I won't vote for Pro Bowl, and I will not vote
NBA.
for
I would probably say
NBA.
it's been a while.
I guess. I guess we're part of the problem.
Right. I know. We had Gaz say basically, he brought up like he even like tied to the presidential election. But like, if you didn't vote, then you can't complain.
Yeah, it's true. It is true to a point, though.
I guess it is. Yeah.
You know,
But-
you're the fan, and you disagree this much. You should have voted, but I didn't, and I disagree big
But-
time.
See,
But this is where like though when we talk about like the NBA was like we need to fix something because we got these people like Zaza who are getting their whole country behind them. So let's fix it, but then not fix it. You know what I'm saying though?
Like, they
made the tiebreaker the fan vote because that was like the compromise, but then they didn't like. So basically, what I'm saying is they fixed it like 90%, but there's like this 10% here. Now that we get it, oh wait, they're tied in total points.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have coaches vote for the rest, right? Why can't the coaches be
Yeah,
the
coaches
tiebreaker?
could be.
Right?
It's
Why do you have to make it one of those? I mean, I get like that's what it is. That's like the vote what it's supposed to be, but the coaches vote for the rest. So like, why not take the coaches? Like, for the coaches who put who highest?
see, to me,
That should be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I understand. Okay, the voting matters, yes, but to me, whoever gets the most votes, that should determine who starts. You should be okay. You make the All-Star team, but the coach still says, all right, this is who I want. This is who I think should start.
So what you think is, so fans should be able to vote 5 people in, like this, the same thing. They vote 5 people in, then the coaches vote for their 7 more, and then based on those 12, the coaches get to choose which 5 should start. So right now it would be what, Steve Kerr and Tyronn Lue because they're the best at the All-Star break at the moment.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But at what point do you get I guess it was nepotism? So like say, so now I'm gonna start Kyrie and LeBron now. Kyrie, are they both starting anyway?
Yeah,
I feel like they are. I know LeBron at least is,
Yeah,
but Kyrie
right.
should be.
I think
He's
LeBron
not.
just starts in principle.
You think Kyrie should be?
Yeah.
Uh,
Who can you name better right now?
yeah. I mean, I guess you can make the argument he is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I don't know if you could argue really anyone
can't-
in that
who-
conference that's
who-
better than him. You could try your very,
maybe,
very best.
Maybe,
I'm gonna get there. I'm
You're
in an
gonna get
argumentative mood, man.
maybe you can make the argument Lowry and
I still couldn't make the argument there.
but
Okay, well,
Let's hear it.
the number one guy you could put up there is Isaiah Thomas. You can make an argument for Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
okay.
And Mike's eyes light up for whatever reason.
Still would take Kyrie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You would too?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, why?
Better, in my opinion.
Who's the best player in the Celtics?
Isaiah
The
Thomas.
Celtics.
Okay, and
But
their record still.
Is it Kyrie Irving's fault that he plays with LeBron James?
Okay, so
I don't. You know what I mean?
To me,
Like I'm not
even
going to give
before-
one guy special credit because.
even before LeBron was
not what
there.
that's not what we're voting on.
But can we
No, but
make
that's
the
what you were
argument,
bringing
though?
up the point. You asked like who the best player is on the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Can we make
Like
the
who's the
my-
best
well-
player on the Cavs? Oh, it's LeBron. Okay, well
but
Kyrie,
by
you're
that
not
what
as
I meant-
good.
okay.
I know.
My
Maybe you
point-
didn't mean that, but
point
that was
that he's like the reason the Celtics. My personal opinion, and you could differ. He's the reason the Celtics are the number 3 seed right now in the Eastern
huge
Conference.
reason.
But
He's averaging 29 points per game.
can we also make the argument too, though, that overall the guards
That's not what. So like yeah, that.
that the guards in the Eastern Conference aren't even close to the guards in the Western Conference? If you asked me right now, give me all the guards in the Western Conference versus all the guards in the Eastern Conference, I take the Western Conference guards.
And I would also
Easily.
argue, and not to just like, not.
Because you're being argumentative.
No, I would also argue. I'm probably a homer here because I love John Wall. You probably hate John Wall.
He's been a
I
stud,
remember you
though,
saying you
too.
hate John
I
Wall.
hate Kentucky, so
I think John
But-
Wall.
John Wall's a great player, but I hate him because he went to Kentucky. Does that make sense?
Oh, I get it. I get it. You know, everyone has, I guess, maybe not everyone, but some people, you know.
It's like I hated Reggie Bush because he went to USC, but he's a great player.
You're entitled.
Listen.
Okay. No, I think John Wall, his team's not having a great year per se. I love that assist category, especially for point guard. Kyrie did not cut it, in my personal opinion, at the assists. Point guard to me is assists. Like I want my point guard to have assists. I know we're living in a different era where like these point guards are these hybrid guys are just going to be scored. I still need my point guard with assists. And look at the two top. You're talking about the guards in the Western Conference, Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Who's better at, you know? But is it just guards, right? It's not necessarily point guards. Is it just guards?
I was going to say, because LeBron
in
James in most playoff games is the one that brings the ball up.
He's a point forward.
That's what I mean,
Right,
though.
so
like, you kind of like...
That's why I don't think Kyrie...
Is that
me,
typical...
LeBron and Kyrie are like a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Kyrie is like what LeBron needs, and then like Kyrie definitely needs LeBron. Like,
I think this is what
he showed when he was just his team.
Yeah.
And I know he was still young. He was still in his fourth year at that point. He didn't show that he was going to lead his team to a playoff.
I think honestly, LeBron leaving was intentional for them to get.
Yeah, we talked about this before and how, you know, like it was kind of rigged. They won the lottery 3 out of 4 years.
I don't think you.
Let's not, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. But no, my real vote though would probably go to Isaiah Thomas. I just think because
you can make the like, and again, that's your opinion.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't freak out if Isaiah Thomas was the starter.
And I know this is what you weren't saying because you were reacting to.
I thought you meant
words.
I thought you were saying, you know, he was he's the best player on his team.
But Kyrie, so someone shouldn't be hurt if he's getting more reps. But I don't think this is what you were saying.
Yeah.
But like if someone interpreted it like that, like, oh, it's not, you know, his fault that he doesn't get as many opportunities because he plays with LeBron.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be Isaiah Thomas's fault that he gets more reps on his team than Kyrie does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. No, I was trying
like. On
it was the wording of both of us. Yeah, that just kind of changed it up.
Well, it was the wording of me that affected the wording of you that like got back to me. Mike.
What?
So in past Curry, who else you got in the Western Conference then? So you got those three. We got no more bed, Mike. Come on.
Yeah. You can throw Oladipo in there. I mean, I don't know. But
I mean, Chris Paul, he's been injured.
He's out for Conley.
Mike Conley.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Where are we going? We didn't even like touch on Westbrook that much.
You know, it's an easy topic.
We don't need to talk about Westbrook.
It's an easy topic.
Do we?
We all think he should be All-Star.
Okay.
If the season ended right now, yes, I agree with MVP.
I agree with you both, right? But I need to like sit here and just
comprehend everything.
Give out my deepest condolences and my deepest apologies. And obviously things could change. We got a lot of season left. Westbrook could go down. I don't know. He might not. You know, maybe he falls off numbers wise in terms of he doesn't average. Like, what if he doesn't average triple double? Like, if he doesn't actually average a triple double, okay, it's at Harden's now, and that's why I got to give my condolences and apologies to James Harden because I think he had a case to win 2 years ago against Curry.
Oh yeah.
And I think he definitely has more than a case this year to win this year.
It's probably his best season he's ever had.
And he might not even win either one. And we already know he didn't win one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could still have a great year next year. Maybe Westbrook doesn't do the same thing. Or maybe he does the same thing and then the committee's like, you know what, he had
Is there any question to maybe the best thing that happened to Westbrook was losing Durant?
No, I disagree with that. Numbers-wise, maybe. Winning-wise, no. The guy's all about championships. That's what you want to know why he.
If you want to win,
you want to know why he hates Durant. He doesn't hate Durant maybe because they weren't that great of. I don't want to like put words in his mouth that he hates Durant, but they're definitely he's becoming more of like they're become more like actual rivals. The reason why that is because Durant took away his best chance to win, and he knows it. And all he wants to do is win championships.
I think the Westbrook Durant duo is not dead. I'm not saying where they end up together.
Gotta be years from now.
Well, Durant,
not really.
I feel like Durant's like a 1 or 2 year stay in Golden State. I don't know why. I just feel that way.
Maybe.
Do you not? I don't know. That's like my initial feeling when I heard him sign there. I was like,
it all depends. I think if he was going to stay there long,
and then he's going to go to Washington.
He signs that big deal.
Well, the reason why he doesn't is because they're going to be able to get signed for more money next year, aren't they?
Right, that was the original reason he did it. I mean, I think that's probably what the reason was.
I think LeBron James is on a 1 year deal.
No, he signed a 3-year, $100 million deal.
He recently. It was like he did that twice, and I think he did sign for the
finally.
3 years.
But he signed 3 years, $100 million.
Maybe that's what Durant's doing.
I wouldn't pay.
Because why not?
Durant
Because the cap
$100 million.
You're gonna have a problem too. Curry and him are gonna both. I know Curry came out with
Curry's
that
gonna
comment,
get a
but
lot, though.
he
He's
should
gonna-
get a lot. Been phenomenal, but like I know he came out with that comment that was like, oh, if I'm making $11 million, I'm complaining there's something wrong with me.
Right.
When he hits free agency, it's a smart move what he said there. But when he hits free agency, he's gonna get his. I don't blame him.
I got nothing else to say on the NBA.
Well, can we move on to the
Well, did we finish what we were talking about? Nothing? No?
with Westbrook? I mean, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Is there
I
anything
think
else?
The Thunder, just real quick, because he said the best thing that happened to Westbrook is trading Durant. Statistically, yes. Team-wise, because they won some championship, no. And then the last thing I was going to piggyback up on there was what the Thunder should have done was trade, in hindsight, trade Westbrook. And I know that's hard to say, but Harden and Durant, when are we going to see that? I think we're going to see, like, talk about, we're going to see Westbrook and Durant's not dead. I think, unfortunately, Mike, I think it probably is. But I don't think a Durant-Harden team is out of question.
All right, here's a question.
And I think if they stayed in Oklahoma City together, that would have been the right move.
I was getting ready to say.
They both would have been there, and that, like, I'm saying in hindsight, like now looking back at it.
Hypothetically, could you imagine right now, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Serge Ibaka still all on the same team together?
It would have been great. Serge is kind of falling off.
Well,
though.
we had that. I mean, I know it was only one. It was only like one great year of them, but we had that, and they were in the finals. I mean, we saw it.
I want to touch.
It's not like 100% a what if. I guess what if is it? What if we stayed that way?
I think it was a smart move. Just to go back to your point, I think it was a smart move that they signed Westbrook and didn't trade him.
Okay,
because it's a superstar league.
But are we on the same page still?
I'm thinking for like this year. Like,
no. I'm
you're
talking
thinking when it was back.
In hindsight, we're talking off-season.
Off-season.
Fall 2012 when Harden is shipped out to Houston.
So you're going all the way back there. Okay.
I'm saying in hindsight, the guy that they should have traded was Russell Westbrook, kept Harden and Durant on the same team.
I disagree.
They were more boys than Westbrook was with either one of them. They would have probably, I don't know what they would have done differently in terms of like what their playoffs and obviously things would have been a lot different. You can't predict what that would have been, but I think they both would still be in Oklahoma City. Like they would have been able to afford both because they already given Durant and they already given Westbrook the money. They would have both. I think they both 100% are in OKC together.
Yeah, maybe.
I know you could argue, well, then why didn't he go to Houston and play with Harden? Touche, but I still think that they want to play together at some point, and I think that they were more friendly. And I used an interview on Jimmy Fallon after they won the and it probably sounds stupid, but they went on an interview together after they won the gold in 2012. And this was after Harden got traded, I think. Was it? I don't think maybe it wasn't. But they went on Fallon together. Like Westbrook didn't go on Fallon with them. It was Harden and Durant. And I know that's like
there's
maybe
clearly
a small
there.
thing, but I just feel like Harden and Durant were closer than Westbrook and Durant. And I think in hindsight, they would both be on the Thunder right now, and the Thunder would have both Harden and Durant. And yeah, obviously you could think the what ifs, right? That's my take.
Fair enough.
And I agree with you. They definitely should have given Westbrook the money.
No,
like you got to keep
I
Westbrook.
I thought you were saying
if you get rid of Westbrook now, you got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
No.
Yeah, no, I get it.
No.
Now, can we talk about a player?
I was yelling at them when they were like talking about how he went like a trade to the Celtics or somewhere else. I was like, no, you got lost the rate. You keep Westbrook. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Can we talk about a player that's not in the NBA yet?
All right, so let's go college basketball. Let's get our initial impressions.
Grayson Allen.
My boy.
Are you starting to jump on it? You starting to like it now too?
I'm a Duke fan, man.
Yeah, I'm a Dookie too. But like at first, I hated seeing Grayson Allen.
Is everyone at the station a Dookie? I know you got guys with Syracuse, but like you two, Mariano, right? Yep. Is Wood's Syracuse? I believe.
I think Woods is also Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's basically all Syracuse and all.
Woods
or
and
maybe
Gaz.
it's UNC for some reason.
No, Woods is Syracuse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Woods and Gaz are both Syracuse.
All right, well,
Gaz has the excuse he's from.
I don't like the Grayson Allen crying. That's just ridiculous. But I love this kind of like bad guy role.
The crying part reminds me of that guy like you were still in high school with, who was like bases loaded, nobody out, strikes out, or like 2 outs, biggest play of the game, strikes out, and he goes on the bench and cries. Like that's what that reminds me.
A-Rod? Did I say that loud? Sorry. Slipped.
But that's not a bad thing though. Like it's one thing like
that was in the middle of a game.
You're like, but then it's like, oh, he's got the passion enough for the game.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a game.
I know.
I know you want to have it like, but in the middle of the game though, too, to cry. like in the middle of the game. I don't like that. I think that's a little ridiculous.
Well, at least go to the locker room first, right?
Yeah, there you go. Cry in there if you want. I love like what he's doing now, like when he just walked right through Florida State's timeout.
Well, I feel like he feels like they're all out to get him now.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just getting to him too
He's
much
a
emotionally.
crybaby. He's just.
But like he's so entertaining to watch now because you'll watch a Duke game and you're like, oh my god, what is Grayson Allen gonna
I'm
do?
literally watching, waiting for the trip to
Yeah,
happen.
is he gonna trip that guy? Oh, dude, that guy gave him a look. He is definitely gonna trip him later.
I'm waiting. I just literally watching, wait for. Where's the trip? Is he coming?
Now, speaking of like Grayson Allen and Duke, is Duke in trouble without Coach K?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
They're kind of slipped a
And
little bit.
I don't think Jeff Capels is that bad of a coach, but I just think Coach K he just lacks that leadership that Coach K has.
There's a lot of freshmen on
You
that
mean
team.
getting the refs to get on his side?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of freshmen on that team now. Also, very
There are.
talented.
Yeah.
But you have to
But there was a
corral
lot of
them.
freshmen on that team 2 years ago, and they won it all.
Oh no, but with Coach K.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my point is like, can he corral them and
I think Coach K can't get back fast enough, but I don't want him to rush back either because I want 100% Coach K down the stretch.
Isn't that weird saying about a coach?
Yeah.
I disagree.
I think Duke.
I think they can put it together regardless.
Well, they get to face UNC at some point in February, I believe.
Listen,
it's a big game.
I think at this point
Obviously.
in this college basketball, especially in the ACC, the most competitive conference in basketball, I think every team's going to have their moments of struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So
This was NC State's first time beating Duke, though, since, what, 95 or something like that?
oh yeah, I mean NC State probably isn't the greatest loss, although they have probably a potential top 5.
Well, let's
pick
be serious. No matter
themselves.
how many losses Duke ends up with, they'll be in the tournament because they're Duke. Duke does not get left out of the NCAA.
Well, yeah,
Well, that's
obviously.
because they have the
They have
resume
the
every single
schedule.
year. But anyway,
Yeah, but like I said, they could lose like 12 games this year and still make it. Not that they're going to lose 12.
that's not true at all.
They'd still make it to the tournament.
If their body of work, see, well, are you arguing that like if they're like the 65th team, or like at this point, what 69th team,
They won't be.
they'd get in over the team? I know they won't be because they're just gonna have the body. Anyway,
The worst they'll be is a
this is a-
6 seed in the tournament. And that's
I
worse.
think you guys are kind of like arguing.
Well,
Like Eric's trying to say, like since you're saying
you're
Duke will
starting to
make
say
it,
Duke is
no,
gets special treatment, right?
If you want to go that way, sure.
Because I'm just saying, like, you're saying they're no matter what. I think this is just going down interesting and not.
They're going to lose 10 games this
It's
year.
like the road
There's
less
no doubt in my
traveled
mind.
that we should just like It's like
So
I'm
weird.
Dorothy right now and I'm tired. I don't want to go down the yellow brick road.
You better follow that yellow brick road.
Anyway,
all right,
moving-
interesting. Very interesting.
Anyways.
Villanova's still the favorite though.
No,
Yeah, as of right now.
unfortunately.
Only lost to Butler.
Yeah, Gonzaga
They still
undefeated
have-
though. How much belief do you have in them?
I have to evaluate them. I feel like I don't know enough about them.
Isn't that like
they're on
every,
the West Coast? They play at 11 o'clock at night. I don't
isn't that
really
like
get
every
to
year with
watch it.
Gonzaga though?
I haven't had faith in them since Andrew Bogut was there, and I didn't even have faith in
Who?
them then.
Bogue?
Bogue was played at Utah or
Houston?
I thought it was
Utah.
Bogut that
Played
played.
at
No,
Utah.
it was
You're thinking of
Adam.
Adam Morrison.
Yeah,
Adam
that's
Morrison.
who I meant.
Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison.
That's a
Did you ever see the
throwback.
video where he
They were both busts.
who Bogues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Bogue
One was
solid.
worse than
But
worse
for
bust
where
than
he
the
was drafted.
But did you ever see that video on or like that moment when Adam Morrison was at someone was at the free throw line and he gave a guy a high five, but it was like the other guy so he was the defender and the guy the offensive guy shoots the free throw, makes it, and Morrison goes to give him a high five, like he's on the opposite team.
He was exciting to watch.
Yeah,
He was
Good
Manny
stuff.
being Manny.
Good stuff.
Morrison being Morrison.
Yeah. Good. I mean, he's like the classic Bobcats.
Yeah. He got a ring though.
Yeah, LA, right?
Yeah. As like a
One or two.
video scout or something.
One or
I don't
two.
know.
Was he there for both?
I don't know. I think one at least.
Yeah, but yeah, because I mean, I like Kansas. Kansas lost to Indiana the first game of the season, and they haven't lost since. So
They're on fire right now.
yeah, and it's the veteran, it's veterans,
Yeah.
and that's what Villanova
guard
has as well.
play is amazing.
That's what Villanova has
Yeah.
as well. So
That'd be an exciting game to watch.
yeah,
Villanova and Kansas with those
Mhm.
guards. It'd be.
because the question is about Duke is they have the veterans. One's a hothead, but
They got a combination though. They got him, Jefferson,
they got young
Matt
kids.
Jones.
and then it's just, but I guess the question is because this team looked really good because of Jason Tatum, because of Harry Giles.
Yep.
And then there's one other. There's a couple other freshmen.
I guess they're kind of I guess as a Duke fan, you're kind of hoping that they have a Kentucky kind of year from was it last year when they made that run where it was they were.
Well, like
they weren't like
you're talking about the Julius Randle year where they gained it as an 8 seed, beat Wichita State.
Yeah, you want them to. I don't think Duke will be an 8 seed, but you want them to kind of click at the right moment with their freshmen.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at this point, it's not like you know Coach K right now. They're not in deep trouble, but they're. I honestly watched that game last night, and it was their defense was horrible. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it was atrocious.
I think there's enough veteran leadership though. Like there's enough Coach K probably in Emil Jefferson.
But to go to your point, you have Grayson Allen as one of your leaders.
Yeah.
Be careful, everybody will start tripping people.
That's what That's a point where you have to.
I know,
kind of look into, right? So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think
talent trumps at the end of the day. Like
Maybe.
if Giles and Tatum can really put something together, I feel like
maybe talent does. Not always.
Fine. You know, I'll give you I'll say Coach K is probably the greatest of all time if this team doesn't put it together at all and he doesn't come back and they do nothing in the tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
I see what you're saying. Do you think Coach K is the greatest coach in college basketball?
He's up top 5.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the greatest?
Is he there?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably. I'd probably, you'll tilt, my hand.
I'm throwing some questions at you right now
I'd
that are
have
just
to.
very, out there.
I'm a big Tom Izzo fan, and
I love Tom Izzo.
And here's the thing, and
you always have to pick Michigan State to go far.
My one thing with Coach K, and I have 2 things, and I already brought up one earlier because I made the comment about the refs. I don't know if you guys heard that. That championship 2 years ago, the reffing down the stretch basically gave it to Duke and kept Wisconsin from winning it personally, and I thought that had a lot to do with at halftime Coach K going to one of the refs, giving it to them. The second half, it was like Wisconsin couldn't get a call. But I'm gonna go to my biggest point on Coach K is, and you guys can, you're probably gonna have a good rebuttal to this, but I feel like Coach K tries to build, and then he does have veterans, he does have guys that stay. But he kind of builds up we have this great character that stays all 4 years and stuff like that. But it's not he had to get the one and done, Jaleel, Tyus, and Justice Winslow to do it.
I have no problem with the one and done.
Someone like Tom Izzo, I know Gary Harris was one of the guys that was one and done, but he doesn't really get one and done.
They usually stick around.
Gets him to stay, and he, so he's like the true. And I know he's only won the one, but he's like the true.
Is it?
The guy who gets them to stay.
Is it more?
And gets them to really develop into good, human beings.
Is it more? Is it more impressive for a coach to do it in a sense of having one and dones?
See, I agree.
Kentucky, or do you think it's more impressive of
well, you can't hate on Kentucky then.
No, well, what I'm saying is, to me, okay, it's impressive if you're a coach and you get your players to stay for 4 years because it almost never happens now. But at the same time, if you lose all those one and dones all the time and you can rebuild and still be competitive, to me, that's equally as impressive.
So then I think I'd have to put Calipari best of all time because he rebuilds.
But how many titles has he won?
What?
How many titles has Calipari won?
Well, he only has the one. Made the final of another one where he should have won. And Derrick Rose blew for him. I know that's another should have, but
Bill Self.
No, the thing of that, Bill Self. He's close to the go.
It was Bill Self's team that beat him that year.
Right. Yeah.
With
Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers.
Brandon Rush was on that team too, I believe. Yep. Okay. Bill, but I guess my problem with the Coach K thing was I feel like he still tries to. And once again, I could be totally off base here. I feel like he tries to give off that vibe of this is a 4-year place.
I just don't.
I get people to stay here 4 years. I feel like and we build a program here. Yeah. Oh, we're the fist. Yeah, the fist. We get 5 people to stay all 4 years. We're fist. We're and then he gets guys, and then he wins his last championship with all one. The 3 main guys are all one.
I feel like that's the perception.
Number 10, I did not just see you do that.
I mean, that's their thing, though. It's the fist, right? Am I wrong with that?
I feel like it's a perception.
But listen, I gotta give credit to Quinn Cook, though. That's a 4-year guy that was probably an underrated part of that championship, and I'm probably forgetting others. But Mason No.
No,
Marshall Plumlee probably was there.
Yeah,
he wasn't a big part of it, though.
Third Plumlee? No, second Plumlee. There's so many Plumlees.
Mason
Marshall,
was in the NBA at that point, right?
Marshall, Mason, and Miles.
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah, Marshall was the one.
Marshall's the baby.
I don't think Marshall played a role. I'm not sure if Plumlee played a role on that team, but there was definitely someone I'm forgetting. Maybe that still played a good enough role.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that perception, man. I just feel like he started to think, we're this fifth, we're this strong team, but he had to get the one and done in order to get that next title.
Did he say something at one point that like caused you to think this way? I feel like that's just a perception against Duke.
Oh, are you
I think
forgetting?
it's just the way he talks.
The way he talks.
Are you forgetting?
To be honest, I don't know.
Oh, what's his name that got?
And let's not forget about how,
kicked off the team.
Dylan
there.
Brooks. I mean, did he have to show up, Dylan Brooks? I got no problem with it, but like, did he have? I mean, I guess I do.
I guess you do. Yeah, I guess you do.
But did he have to show up, Dylan Brooks? Like, was it his place to like go over there and be like, "Why'd you shoot it?" Like, I'm with Coach K on that one. Like, I probably would like, you know what? Yeah, like, don't do that. Like, you just beat the team. Why are you chucking up a 35-footer? But I don't think he meant it as a bad thing. And he didn't. And because they lost, it kind of looks like a sore loser thing to do. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's pissed that he lost, and therefore then he sees that and he just like loses it in his head, and he has to go up and show him up.
Maybe he went too far there.
Like, I like when when their coach shows them up. Like use a local name who's now coach of Iowa. Like Fran McCaffrey's done that. Like,
oh yeah,
and I think Tom Crean's done it before too.
That
Like, I like when those guys
a hothead.
Oh yeah, but
Holy cow.
in good ways sometimes. Like he sees his guy do it, and he goes out and he shows him up.
Yeah.
But then when it's the opposite coach, it's like it does kind of
rub you the wrong
I
way.
forgot
There.
what
Rub the wrong
game I
way,
was
but
watching. It was Iowa somebody last week, and I swear to God, I
Yeah.
saw the top of McCaffrey's head blow off.
Oh,
I was like, "What
he was
is
very mad at
going
the calls. I
on?"
believe it was against Maryland, and
The second time
It was
this year.
Maryland. Yeah,
and shout out to the local product, right?
Yep.
Kevin Herter.
I didn't see what happened, but
It was like the reffing most of the game, and then at the end of the game, he just lost it, I think.
Yeah, it was like a collective
Mm-hmm.
game. Like the entire game, he had a problem with the refs.
Mm-hmm.
so.
Well, did you have anything else to say, Hogan?
No, I mean,
No.
I was, I think that's a perception against my Coach K. Is Duke like the most divided, like in the sense of if you're a fan of Duke,
You want me to be honest?
you love them, and
You
if
want
you
me to be
don't
honest?
like Duke,
You hate him.
you hate them.
Oh yeah.
See, that wasn't the case for me when I was growing up. Duke UNC, I loved it.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, I don't have a horse in this race at all.
Yeah, you love just watching the
Is there
match.
any
love
argument though
watching the
that
matchup.
that's not the best college basketball
growing
game
up.
to watch?
As I'm growing up
Duke UNC.
and maybe developing opinions in my head, I guess, I'm siding with UNC now. And I'm sorry, but
I feel like that happens a lot though. Like that's not, like, I feel like you're either a Duke fan or you're not.
But it's not like UNC's like not won as much as they had in my lifetime.
Oh yeah,
UNC's won 2 in my lifetime. And I've only seen. I know Duke. No, I think in my like technical lifetime, I think it's 2-1 UNC. And even growing up, I know growing up it's 2-1 UNC. Like it's the Sean May,
yeah, the Sean
UNC,
May era.
and then the Tyler Ty Lawson, and then obviously the recent Duke one. But I don't know what it was. I just sided with UNC after all these years now.
Well, no, there was a year they beat Butler, so that's 2.
Yeah,
there's 2.
I knew they had
okay.
2. I was
Yep.
trying to think of. They almost
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it. Gordon
They almost
Hayward
lost to Butler.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward almost
Thank
took
you,
that
Gordon
one.
Hayward, for missing.
Yeah,
the
that was
shot.
with John Shire, Kyle Singler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team is awesome.
That's the 4. That's the that's
Mason.
the one where like they actually got people.
Mason Plumlee.
That was the
on
Mason
that team.
Plumlee and Miles, right?
Miles was not there yet. Miles was a year.
Miles
later,
is older
I
than
believe.
Mason.
Oh, that's right. It was Miles, not Mason.
It
Yeah,
was Miles, not Mason.
yeah, because it was the older Plumlee.
I thought all of them won one though.
I do want to get back to your point real quick though. I know it's off topic.
Marshall and Mason won the last one together. I think. No, Marshall was the only one there that year. So Miles and Mason won the Butler year. Miles and Mason were both there.
You don't think Duke and UNC? I heard you say it earlier. Is the best college basketball game?
Is there any?
Oh,
There's no.
I was
better
like,
game.
that's why I gave you a look.
we-
I'm like, wait, what?
Do we have the mics on in there? Like we hear each other speak.
I don't know. I was like very surprised. I was like, wait, what?
I know, but we
wanna
are
hear
at 2
this.
hours on a 45-minute podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for listening to the Sittin Sportside podcast. We have a big week next week. We didn't even touch our Super Bowl picks. Just to recap, I'm sitting. This is Eric talking in case you forgot who I was.
In case you forgot.
I'm sitting one game behind these two clowns, and it's all going to come down to next week. If they both pick the same team, I have a chance to. Well, I have a chance to tie for first place with all of them.
It's going to be
If
interesting.
they pick 2 different teams, one of them will win, and the other one will possibly tie for last. And I think it would equal that'd be a double punishment. That would be some impractical Joker's double punishment.
I love that show.
Great
Anyways,
show.
Sorry.
Love it. You know, I would love to have them on the show. Even if they don't talk about sports.
I tweeted them and I didn't get an answer. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll keep
they're
trying.
a pretty big
Tweet
deal.
machine.
They're a pretty big deal.
I saw them in person. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Proctors?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not a fat person's place to go watch a show. Just saying. Yeah.
Oh my. No,
I was uncomfortable for like a
So,
week.
so stay tuned on the YouTube page of 1045 The Team. That's youtube.com/team1045. You can also go on 1045theteam.com. Hogan will probably have a blog of our podcast up
at some point this week would be nice.
as well as his takes on
just general sports.
general sports. Good stuff. And obviously stay on the stream page as well, 1045theteam.com. Anything else to say, boys, before we sign off?
That's it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Stay classy, Capital Region, and wherever else you're listening. Stay classy.